Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan, and welcome to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. Tonight I've got Austin the Day Ghost with me.
We're back.
Unfortunately, Chris couldn't make it. He had to skip out on us on Tuesday, and then Austin came down with something. He couldn't make it. We had to move the show, and Chris couldn't make it again this evening, but I've got Austin, and I appreciate him for coming in and helping me talk about books tonight. Hi, Austin. I'm excited to do it. I've read so many comics this week. I don't know if I remember anything that happened in them, but I'm going to show them to you and be like, yes or no. And that'll be the show tonight. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be great.
You're going to be like, this is a damn good comic, or this is damn.
It's the goddamn absolute Batman
comic, yeah.
Speaking of, I think every single absolute book on my pull is in the stack tonight because it's been 3 weeks since we've done a show. And if we did it Tuesday, at least 2, if not 3 weeks, and then since we're going today, I've read all my books from Wednesday now. So this is going to be kind of a weird show because we're not going to show you the stuff that came out Tuesday because it came out already. So we'll go through some things coming out next week since we're not going to have a show next Tuesday anyway. Because just so everybody knows, I'm out of pocket all next week. I may have time to do a couple of kind of random streams, maybe during the day. I've got kind of a weird week next week. My kids are going to be out of town. My wife and I are doing some things together, but we were hoping to take the whole week off together, and then she's having to work. She's got deadlines that fell on a bad week. So I am going to have some free time in the middle of the day. I'm going to be working on a channel project that is not live, but I might go live a couple of times if I'm able to, and see if just anybody happens to be hanging out in the middle of the day, because I never do that.
Groovy.
So anyway, just so folks know what's going on with us, and then we'll be back finally to more regular rewinds and things after that, until we hit another inevitable mania. But anyway, it's time now to find out what books came out or are coming out next Tuesday. Actually, real quick before we do that, let me just mention tonight's featured book is I should check and see who put this on the wheel, because we're spinning the wheel now, and a quick plug for that. If there's something that you want to put in the lottery to see if it pops up on the wheel, we do that with $5 super chats. We've got a ton of stuff on the wheel already, so your odds are not the best right now for your thing coming up, but we're still, at least for right now, accepting stuff to put on the wheel, and we just can't promise when or if it will come up, but you've got a chance for as long as we're doing this show, and we plan to keep doing this for a good long time. Scene of the Crime is tonight's featured book by Ed Brubaker. The first major, his first real major work in comics, Vertigo, and he did like a one-shot for them, and then this was his first big book, put him on the map, and then he was doing Gotham Central just a couple of years after that. This was suggested by Bob the Hun, so thanks to Bob the Hun. I'm learning, Austin, a lot about late 90s crime comics right now, because it's kind of interesting how soon after it's interesting we're doing this so soon after Jinx.
That's true, and I was thinking about that some while reading this.
Mm-hmm. Night and day, those books, but
yeah, yeah. I was like, do I make it sound like it's not? No, it is.
It honestly, and no shade with Bendis. Obviously, I love a lot of Bendis stuff. He just didn't come out of the room a writing prodigy the way Brubaker did. Like Brubaker's.
And to be fair, like Brubaker had his version of that before this. Like, this is more like he's gotten that stuff kind of out of him, and now this is like he's actually working at a major.
Well, to be fair, I've not read his earliest stuff. I still doubt that it reads as juvenile as what Bendis did with Jinx. But maybe I haven't looked at it.
I just mean that like kind of unpolished indie stuff. But yeah,
I bet it didn't read that unpolished though. Like Jinx reads like The Mask or something.
I mean, that's a huge insult to the Mask.
I just mean in how kind of juvenile the writing is.
That's still a huge
The
insult to
the
the
mask is
man.
much breezier, I will give you that. And it's also interesting that both of these are wordy, but the wordiness works in this book's favor, at least to some degree.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Anyway, I always do this. I always start reviewing the thing too early. We'll get to it at the end of the show. But I appreciate all of the kind of history I'm getting from some of the things that people are requesting right now, and kind of spreading my wings a little bit with stuff that I not only I wouldn't necessarily pick up on my own, but just off my radar. I didn't know about either of those things.
Yeah, for sure.
I should also mention that real quick, and then we'll uh, table this and talk about it at the end of the show. But I would be remiss because we were just talking about Bendis if I didn't mention that the trade that we looked at has a forward by Bendis. Because the two of them knew each other and worked together some in their early days, and it's a really sweet, nicely written forward that gave me some insight about him and the way he writes, and particularly, I don't know if you saw that, Austin, but
I did, but I didn't read the forward.
I forgot about it, and then I took a look at it like right before the show.
Yeah.
He mentions that unlike, and he's real self-aware in it, which is cool. He says this is in 2012. He wrote this, and he says that the big difference between the two of them as writers is that he says most writers you can see their speaking voice to some degree in their writing, and Brubaker doesn't have that at all. He says the guy you hear in interviews or when you're talking to Brubaker, you can't see it on the page whatsoever. And he says that's how talented he is. That like he just completely disappears. He says if you've ever listened to Stephen King or Neil Gaiman speak, you hear in their voice some of what you read on the page, and he says, and me too, and not Brubaker, which I thought was a really nice compliment that he paid him.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Let's take a look at stuff coming out next week. Austin, I don't think I have anything hardly on my pull list for next week.
I haven't even looked, so this will be completely fresh for me. It looks like I pulled it up on my end, and there's a bunch of annuals right here off the bat.
Yeah, sorry about the black screen, everybody. I forgot to set this up. There are a couple of annuals for things that I usually pick up that I may go ahead and get. I'm not sure yet, so I if I'm getting anything, I guess it's probably that. But like Superman has an annual this year 1000 thing. I'm just reading current Superman for the Superboy Prime stuff, so like I don't know if I'll get that or not.
I mean, it's cool to see what Superman's doing post that event at KO.
Yeah, but like I don't know what year 1000 means.
Oh, you'll be in the future.
Oh, okay. It'll be cool to see what he's doing that far after that event. I can't always decide if you're joking or not.
Well, no, I mean that's what it would have to be.
And then Detective has an annual. Batman Superman has an annual. It's funny we're just kind of stacking up the DC annuals right at the start here. X-Men 34 is on Tuesday of next week. Geiger 24. I need to finally go in and catch up on Geiger because I love that initial miniseries, and then I've kind of forgotten about it. But like it was my favorite thing from last year, or that I read last year, I should say. It's not from last year, but Mortal
Yeah.
Thor continues. We liked that first arc quite a bit, Chris and I. Doom Quest. So for the 5 people reading that, Queen in Black 1. I thought this was out already.
I either didn't know about this or forgot about this.
Yeah, Queen in Black is in arc there or a event that's been like headlining some other books. So I would have thought that was already out. Like I feel like I keep hearing about this.
Yeah. Ah, weird.
But anyway, what else? Uh Brand new day number 3 because you gotta have your comic tie-in for movies. They won't really have anything to do with that movie, probably, except I bet the
Well, it looks
Punisher's
like
in
it's
it.
got. Well, it looks like it has Mr. Negative, which is interesting because I know a lot of people thought he would be the bad guy of that movie, and like at this point, I don't think there's any chance he's in it. But
That's probably why they.
that's just kind of
That's probably why they
interesting.
did that. They were like, "Well, we'll go the direction that everybody thought the movie would."
Oh, there you go.
Uh, which is funny because, like, I was gonna say I would have been really disappointed with that. I know, like you and I have talked about that. I know some other people that are like, I hope it's not Mr. Negative. But then again, that game was real popular. I heard some people when the rumor initially was going around about that. They're like, "Yay, Mr. Negative," and I was like, you are not my people."
Oh,
Alias Red Band is tomorrow, next Tuesday. And I might have made this joke before, but like, isn't Alias basically already a Red Band book? Like, it's always weird when you put Red Band on something that's just kind of R-esque in the first place.
well, yeah, because the original Alias is Max,
Oh,
which is why none
is
of
it?
it's on Marvel Unlimited because it doesn't have Max for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I'm gonna assume it's not a censorship thing. They don't have like any, hardcore stuff on that website.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if this Red Band book's on there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimate Impact Reborn #3. Probably six
Also
people
known as Reborn
are
Ultimate
reading that.
Impact #3.
Yeah, because that's the first word you see in the title. Justice League Night Vision Special. I read about this. You got Batman and Lex Luthor on the cover. That's kind of fun. A new danger to the DCU forces Batman and Lex Luthor to team up. Some of these Justice League specials, I bought a couple of these last year just because they seemed kind of important to greater continuity things. And there was one that led up to KO that I was super glad I read because some of the stuff we were doing with like Booster Gold and Doomsday and stuff, I understood a lot better after reading that. So I might check this out just because of that, and because I don't have that much I have to deal with uh,
Yeah.
next week.
No, we've not hit any books for me either. Although we're about to hit one that I'll probably pick up, which is the Horror of Godzilla #1.
I was going to ask you if you were going to grab that one.
Yeah, because I dropped that universe that they were doing because we immediately killed Godzilla off, and it's like people who have like monster powers, and I don't really care about that. But this is like the events of 1954 in that world, and I'm kind of interested in that, especially that
Ooh,
they're like, oh, this is like a horror iteration of it.
no, that's cool.
That sounds neat to me.
Tell me how that is, because like I don't actively collect Godzilla, so I don't need to buy that, but I might read it
Yeah,
down the line.
yeah, for sure.
No, that does sound cool. I will say I've been I can't say forced, but I've been finding myself buying some things with Godzilla in them just because he's crossing over with literally freaking everything right now. He even
Well,
crossed over with my city. Like he crosses everything.
that reminds me, I gotta look on last week to see what it was called. But remember, they did that Infinity Roar Godzilla crossover,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, like another one. Like I didn't even like the last one. There's no way I can do this. So I dropped it. So I was looking at books that came out.
I was gonna ask you if you were gonna get that.
Yeah, so last week,
That was last week.
Godzilla conquers the multiverse #1. There's another one.
Yeah. He's conquering the multiverse now. It's like we're even doing synergy with movies with Godzilla crossovers. It's like you got Doomsday coming out, so Godzilla's got to tackle the multiverse now.
When I think both Infinity Roar and this one, like the tagline or not tagline, like the beginning of the synopsis for each issue is like after teaming up with Null, Godzilla is, and it's like, oh my god, I don't care.
Yeah. That's the reason I didn't bother with that in the first place. Because I read like one of those crossovers when they did all the one shots that kind of led to something at the end, and I was like, that was kind of cool. And then as soon as I saw Null's name, I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm good. But I did get, you and I reviewed Godzilla and Ninja Turtles, which was really quite good. And I've got the first issue of Sonic X Godzilla tonight to talk about, which I bought because I've been buying Sonic and my kids like Godzilla quite a bit. And I buy Sonic for them. Uh, and it's fun.
Yeah.
That's my review. Moving right along. Like I said, yes or no? Yes. You know what I think though,
Yes, I have
Austin?
some.
Yes, have some.
Hmm.
You know what I think
What's that?
legitimately should happen if they would play nice together? Marvel and who's remind me who's got the Godzilla license? That is IDW, right?
IDW. Yep.
Uh Marvel
Well,
and
kind of, I guess. I don't. It's also weird because like DC can use it through the American Godzilla, so like
oh,
there's
that's
like
right.
kind of split rights. Yeah. But anyways,
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't even gonna make a point about Godzilla. Um with I was just reminded about this because of all the crossover stuff going on right now. I would love to see like legitimately, I would love to see Image get together with Marvel and do a Transformers crossover and like harken back to the 80s stuff, but let the Transformers mix it up with other superheroes besides Spider-Man. But maybe set it kind of in that era and do all the Gen 1 designs. Like that would sell well for them. It'd be nice to see them try
when
something like that.
IDW did that, they did
Oh,
it
did
was
they?
yeah, so it was like their main Transformers book, and it was pretty early on
I didn't
too,
even
I
know this.
think. And it crossed over with the new Avengers, so like that
Oh,
Spider-Man Wolverine Avengers team.
okay. Well, never mind. I've got to stop talking about things I don't know anything about.
No, but I mean that's just more reason to do it, really.
Well, if they already did it. But I mean, I guess there's more things you could do with it.
Yeah,
And
but like
also,
it's also completely different eras. Like it's yeah.
yeah, well, maybe if they made it look like the 80s stuff again, I'm wrong. Maybe it would be cool to do more of like the contemporary Skybound thing with Marvel. I hesitate to say like with current Marvel because current Marvel's not very good. But
They'll
I
just
don't
cross
know,
over with
Marvel of
Williamson and Iron
12
Man
years
because
ago.
he's working at Skybound.
And that's one of the better things they have going on. You just
Yeah, those G.I. Joe and Iron Man.
you just cross it with only the things you and I are liking, so like Iron Man and Daredevil and um
You say that. I want to see Optimus Prime meet Paul. I think that's a great meeting of the minds.
what are because some of it's just stuff I'm Mortal Thor, you throw him in there. Um some of it's just
Yeah,
stuff
I've
I'm
heard good
not
things about the
reading.
Hulk
Like
book.
I was gonna say, what are other things people are saying good things about, so I'm not throwing shade unfairly.
Ryan North's FF. Which okay, so every time
Okay,
we see
but
that, I'm
you
like,
know what? But Vince hates that book, for
oh
the record.
really?
Well, he said it was okay at the start,
Interesting.
but it's fallen off.
Oh, okay. Well, cause I've been confused every time it comes up where I'm like, oh, only in like issue 7. Like I thought we were really far into that, and then I found out that it was because they were making an FF movie, so they hit number one like 30 issues into his run, despite it still being his run. It's just classic Marvel.
See, they did that with the All Red Silver Surfer book, and it drives me insane.
Yeah,
And
no, I
like, it's
watched a
just
good
a
video about it
continuation of
recently
that
about
story.
how.
Like, it's sort of a jumping on point, but not any more than you'd have it like 20 into 21. Like, there's no reason to renumber it whatsoever.
No, I watched a good video on it that was like, this completely drives readers away because it's like, oh, here's a new number one. That's a good starting on point. And then issue 2 is like a tie into that One World Under Doom event and like still like connected to the last like 30 issues. So it's like, it's not really a new jumping on point, but you're getting new readers to come in thinking it is. And then when they have no idea what's happening, they're like, oh, well, I'll just head out.
Well, and something we don't talk about much, and this might be negligible. I don't really know how many readers you lose over this, but are you not kind of risking sometimes losing the base you have already? Because they might not get the memo that the new number one is the same team or is a continuation of that story.
I've heard comic book
That probably happens.
store like owners talk about this. That yeah, like every new number one is a jumping on point, but every last issue is a jumping off point.
Hmm.
So
Well, and
yeah.
also sometimes through no fault of their own, right? Where if it is technically a new volume, it will not stay on your pull list. Especially if you have a
Mhm.
digital pull
Yeah,
list. Like, it's not the same book anymore. Like, I will have to resubscribe
yeah.
to Space Ghost when they go to season 3,
Hmm.
probably. Because that last
Yeah,
volume,
good
it's
call.
technically a different book now.
A different
Now,
volume.
if your store is, especially if they're small enough and they really know their reader base and they're paying attention, uh, they'll probably know the difference and know better and be like, well, Cap's gonna want to stay on Space Ghost. It's the same book. Like that, like they'll know.
Mhm. Yeah.
And in fact, what a lot of stores will do, for better or worse, and I don't have a problem with this unless they're jerk faces to you about wanting to not buy things that you didn't subscribe to, is a lot of stores will go, will put stuff in your pull list that is connected to that series, hoping that you'll buy it. And I don't mean like offshoots or like other monthlies that are connected to it, but I just mean like if I'm pulling, for instance, IDW Ninja Turtles and like Shredder #1 comes out, they'll probably throw it in my pull box expecting that I would want it. And then if I don't, I can just give it back to them. But that strikes me as
Yeah,
just
no, for sure.
good business as long as they're willing to take the risk on it.
Yeah. So we got a couple questions before we hit that super chat.
Yes.
Chewbacca's lover
Thanks
asked if
for
somebody
keeping us
put.
on track, Austin.
No, it's all good. Chewbacca's lover asked if anyone's put 100 bullets on the wheel. I don't think so offhand, but maybe it's there. I'm not
Let
sure.
me check because that actually rings a bell. Yes, Bob the Hunt put 100
Okay.
bullets on the wheel.
Okay.
He
So there you go,
had it
Chewbacca's lover. It
right
is there.
under the thing we're doing tonight, in fact. That's why I found it so fast.
Oh, beautiful.
Here, I'll take the scene of the crime
And
off of
then
this.
and then Spider Fan asks the $1 million question, which is, what is the issue limit for request? Is 9 issues too long?
9 we could do. I would think. I've said this before, we're playing it real case by case. It just depends on what it is. There are, I'll try not to spend too long on this again, but there are some things where, like, if that's a whole run, it's weird to only do 6, or like 4 or 5. But we'll have to kind of take a look at both the number count and how long the individual issues are and how wordy the thing is to determine if we're doing a regular show or if that's going to be kind of a special just vault that week. That's kind of where we come down
Yeah.
on it, is if somebody puts in something that, like, it makes sense for us to do all 12, we're not going to be able to do 12 issues and all the other crap we do on this show. So we'll probably just have to skip a week for singles, but that's not a big deal. Especially if you have a week like next week where I'm not going to have hardly anything to review anyway. Next week
Yeah, no,
or next
exactly.
week, the week after, would actually be a pretty good week for something longer to come up on the wheel because we'd have time to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's true.
So hopefully that answers your question.
And then Dan Schneider gives us $10 and
Thanks,
says, "I'm
man.
putting both I Am Not Starfire by Mariko Tamaki and George R. Binks, The Tragic Story of Jar Jar's Father on the wheel. Deal with it." I've not heard of that Starfire book since
I
like
have.
2018.
Oh
No, I
yeah.
mean, like, I haven't heard anyone talk
Anyone say
about that
anything
in
about
like
it?
8 years.
I
That was like
ass-
a real hot button thing, like right in the moment, and then
Yep.
nobody cared, so it like immediately
I'm sure that's
disappeared.
why he asked for it. I wasn't planning on ever
Oh yeah.
reading that, but I guess now we might. And then
And then I know about the George R. Binks book. I think
is
it's like
that
a single
is
issue.
that an actual thing? I thought maybe that was a joke.
I think it basically is like a joke comic, but I think it's like a single issue.
Okay.
That's just his father George wants to kill himself because his son is Jar Jar.
Hilarious.
I mean, that is kind of funny.
It sounds like an inevitable comic book, though, does it not? Like, it sounds like something somebody was gonna write that at some point.
I hope they just commit and he has the speaking voice of George Lucas and doesn't have like the Jar Jar Binks dialogue.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it kind of sounds like you're just adapting a YouTube video.
that's true too.
I think that's why I had that visceral reaction of, oh, of course somebody did that. Like, maybe it's really funny. I don't mean to be like that, but like,
It's like that Mara Jade video, which is funnier now in retrospect because it's George Lucas yelling at Zeb Wells.
I want to thank Dan Schneider for trolling us because it always encourages other people to come in and put more legitimate requests on the wheel. So thank you for that. Jajira, $5 super chat, putting my book on the wheel. Well, he makes it sound like he wrote a comic book and he's going to make us review it. Atomic Robo and the Fighting Scientists of Tesladyne. I think I nailed that first time out. By
Yeah,
Brian Clevenger. It's a 6-issue miniseries. I've heard of that. I've not read it, but I've heard of that. Or I at least have heard of Atomic. In fact, I think I read some Atomic Robo thing at some point. Anyway, can I copy and paste text out of a super chat? Hopefully, yes. It looks like I can.
I would think so.
Good, because it was going to take time to write that. But it puts the green behind it. That's weird.
Beautiful. That just makes sense.
This is Inside Baseball.
It's Atomic.
Thanks for the support tonight, guys. We appreciate it. And good luck that your thing comes up on the wheel tonight. Oh, Dan Schneider says that comic is from 04. It predates YouTube. He just schooled me.
Sense.
Schooled me. Yeah. Anyway, other stuff coming out next week. This is a thing that I'm actually thinking about getting. What if Spider-Man #1, because we can never, in the official title, put in what it is.
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like it. But this is What If Kraven Survived His Last Hunt. And the only reason I'm considering buying this is because it is DeMatteis coming back.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And so, like, it's Kraven actually makes it out instead of the kind of crazy convoluted thing they had to do to pseudo-resurrect him. I used to buy everything What If that came out, and like with Venom and stuff, I kind of cap it off at a certain year now where I don't really collect all the modern stuff. But if a title catches my eye, I will sometimes try one, and that one I will probably try.
Hell yeah.
Look at that, a Marvel thing. But you got to bring back DeMatteis before I'm buying very much Marvel. Okay.
He's been getting around a bit in the last couple of years.
He's been doing a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Feral 25 from Images tomorrow. Red Roots. Ghost Pepper. I don't know anything about Ghost Pepper. Have you been reading that?
No, I don't know anything about that either.
Let's read the copy. The world needs a champion, but none remains. Oh, that's unfortunate. After the shocking events of last issue, a strange traveler emerges from the chaos, eager to taste Loloy's famous spicy dishes. So it's what it sounds like. Like it's actually about food. It sounds like, unless that's a euphemism. And it
God,
could
I hope
be.
Not.
It could be a horrifically sexual euphemism.
That it could be.
Bishop, Queen in Black, Helen and yeah, you see what I'm saying? So Marvel's doing that thing again where they put the first issue of a big event out and then a bunch of tie-ins all at the same time.
Well, and like just looking at that image of Queen in Black from the top and that in her #1, I thought it was Hela. So is it? But like, it looks like Hela, but like nullified. So does she just have 2 books? Or am I wrong about that?
I'm trying to remember. I thought it was Hela. I'll scroll up and make sure I'm right about this. Yeah. That is indeed who it is. So why?
Beautiful.
Marvel makes no sense. I'm so confused by that. I will say the cover for Queen in Black #1 is really good. But like, why would the main villain of your big event have a tie-in miniseries starring her.
That reminds me of there was
Queen
talk
in Black is the series, and then Hella Queen in Black Hella. But that's all right. Okay, I don't understand that.
It's like I remember when the sequels were coming out for Star Wars, I've seen people be like, "Oh, it'd be really cool if they made like a Darth Vader spin-off." Like when they were doing the a Star Wars story movies, and then I would always see the same replies that were like, "He's the main character. Why would it be spin? Like, why would he spin off?" It just reminds me of that. Like,
That's true. We just got another $5 super chat for the wheel by Chewbacca's Lover, who asks for the original Kick-Ass, which I don't think I've reviewed in the past. I have read it. It's been
no.
a long time.
Well, that was one that I said when we did it on Rewind, we could probably do it then. But yeah, whatever works.
Well, if it comes up on the
I like that
wheel,
book.
we could always try to line up a Rewind commentary for it.
That's true.
No
That
reason
is
not.
true.
No reason not to do that. All right, thank
Yeah,
you
why
guys.
not?
Sure appreciate
Yeah.
it. Let's finish this up as quickly as we can. There's
Are you
another.
excited for DC's Hot Girl Summer?
No, but
Uh,
you're getting ahead of me because I was going to mention
all right.
right before that you have another Queen in Black tie-in, but it at least doesn't say Hella on it. But they're Defenders of Light and Dark. They're just defending
Beautiful.
everything. They're defending the light
They
and the dark.
defend the light and the dark. That's everything.
It's kind of weird. Okay.
Everything the light touches, Simba, and everything it doesn't. That is
It's our kingdom.
Oh, so everything.
All of it. God, we're getting pretty late in the summer to be putting out volleyball swimsuit comics, but all right.
Well, we've been throwing shade at Marvel, so I'm like, throw some shade at DC for the cringiness of that title.
Yeah, but I think, but Marvel has them beat because they always put out like multiple swimsuit issues.
Oh well, yeah, and I don't even care that it's a swimsuit thing. It's more like that to me falls under the like Nightwing ass issue they did, where it's like, oh, this is kind of memey. Like throw that as a title, and it's like, oh, it
Yeah.
makes me cringe.
Well, if we're throwing shade at DC for doing this, first of all, it's like they intentionally tried to make it look like a late 80s book, especially like with the old DC logo. Or is that just what DC's logo looks like right now?
That's just what DC's logo looks like now.
Okay. Well, just something about the layout of this looks like it's sort of kind of throwback, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's read the copy though. Listen
See,
up.
from really small, it looked more like 90s, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I almost
God.
said 90s, and then I kind of pivoted because maybe more like 89, 90. Anyway, I'm splitting hairs here. Listen up, normies. A hawk girl is talking. Oh no! Now I wish I was not reading the copy. I didn't look at the copy before I said that. Summer has arrived.
I saw it when I clicked on, and I was like, oh.
And so has your perfect juicy beach read. Austin,
that's kind of funny.
Beach read.
What
does that mean? Hot off the presses, this collection of scorching new stories showcases the babes and bombshells of the DCU slaying the summer. Join Hawk Girl, Catwoman, Red Hood, Grace Choi. Who the hell is that? Who's Grace Choi?
Grace Choi, dude.
Okay. Thunder. Who's that?
He's Thunder, dude.
Shining Knight. Kid Quick. Okay, I'm starting to think that DC just stole a bunch of like some other small presses characters. I haven't heard of half of these characters. And more. I'm excited about the and more because they're probably like even lower on the totem pole of characters you've heard of. As the
Grace
female
Choi and Thunder get named, I can't imagine that's like, I don't know, Nightwing or someone.
Exactly. As the female Furies dominate the beach, the boardwalk, and any bad guys in their way, the female Furies. Not like from Apocalypse, right?
Yeah. No, that's what that would be.
Is that okay? So they're gonna have a volleyball match with the scary women that work for Darkseid and Hot Girl Catwoman Red Hood and people they stole from some other small publisher from like 20 years ago is
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Spider Fan says I'm so tempted to request this right now.
You'll only do it one time. I mean, obviously, because why would you have to read that twice? Predator versus Planet of the Apes, #1. I hope that's cool.
Yeah, hopefully. Who's doing that? That's
Let's find out. Greg
oh,
Pak.
Greg Peck.
Cool. It's a good cover.
And Cornelius is in this. That's cool.
Yeah. Austin, I haven't finished it yet because something came up, but I'll get back to it. But guess what? I started watching. I got
What's that?
the other night. I got halfway through Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Yay! Isn't it great?
I'm enjoying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's really fun.
And it's less shark jumpy than I expected.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's a really good just like flip on that original movie.
yeah, there's silly stuff in it, but the premise of it is basically like take a dose of your own medicine, apes, and
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot.
No, and the stuff in it that is silly, because it does get silly,
Yeah.
is like all there to disarm you for where it goes.
Oh, I'm excited to find out in the second half because some of the real serious stuff that they do, like in the courtroom and stuff, is, dare I say, not that far away from some of the writing in the original. Like, I'm not saying that it's totally on par with that, but like it is more in line and on brand with that original movie than I think it has any right to be. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. Like, I think that's the second best Apes movie. It's really good.
Well, I'll tell you if I agree when I finish it.
Yeah.
But I'm liking it quite a bit, and I didn't even know if it would be characters that we were already familiar with, or if it was just gonna be like random apes. But like it's characters from that first movie.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And when Cornelius is recast in Beneath, and then he comes back in that one, which is cool.
Oh, I see. I didn't even remember that. Yeah, I haven't seen Beneath in probably 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or 15 years, I should say. Dan Schneider, $5 super chat. Comics are trying to appeal to gooners again. It's sort of funny how the culture has changed from a few years ago. That swimsuit issue is on the wheel. Oh no, you can't make me buy that. Well, by the time it comes up, can I get my hands on it?
Maybe, who knows?
But we'll okay.
That's gonna be a real light, easy week.
Thank you for that super chat.
Here's our feature book. Grace Choi is naked. Oh my god!
I hope it comes up like December 12th or something.
I mean, don't put it like that, but yeah, exactly.
No, just like in the title, there's snow on the ground. We're in the middle of Christmas season and we're reviewing Hawk Girl Summer.
Yeah, exactly. Get ready, normies. It's coming.
I'm so glad Dan Schneider's here this evening. Thanks for being here. Obsidian Library Archives. Cap, thoughts on the new Clayface trailer? Do you think Batman will appear in it? I'll field this real fast because I don't know when we're going to have a chance to do another Captain Logan show before the next movie we review. More and more, Austin, I'm kind of thinking he won't.
I think we will get some sort of something. Kind of like what they did with Creature Commandos. Some sort of like flash where it's like maybe a silhouette or something.
I mean, I still say it's going to be kind of odd, or at least it'll be interesting to see what force like would show up to try to stop him. If it's not Batman, but like, I mean, I guess just the cops. But like, what are they gonna do when he goes full on gigantic 9 feet tall Clayface at the end, which they'll do.
But like, just as a horror movie, I could see it having like a really dark horror ending, and then just like
Sure.
that's kind of the end of the story. And then like Flash, like at some time after this, Batman stops Clayface.
I hope it's not an after credit scene, and I hope they don't have one. Like, it just seems like the kind of movie that probably shouldn't. It's gonna be
I
more of a
want the after
simple horror
credit scene
film.
to be Clayface hugging Crypto on the moon.
City Library Archive says, yeah, something has to stop him. But it being a horror film, I mean, maybe not. I mean, but like even in most like slasher movies and that kind of thing, the the big scary monster still gets defeated somehow.
But he's also the protagonist, so like that becomes dicey.
Sure, but he would have to have some reason to like slink off into the shadows at the end, or whatever it is. I doubt that movie ends with Clayface just took over like a whole block in the middle of Gotham.
Well, I mean, his motivations are probably small. It's probably just localized revenge, and he's like stalking that girl. So
You know,
it could just be that he's not got broader plans.
well, I was gonna say it could be a Darkman situation where the movie ends with his just uh like disguising himself as someone else and walks off into a crowd.
Yeah, that's true too.
Could easily be that ending.
Hmm.
And I won't even knock them for ripping off Darkman if they do that, because that could be a real classy kind of
And
ending.
I'll even cheer if it's also Bruce Campbell.
Hey, Austin, let's get into some books from the last several weeks that we read.
Yes.
I've got a ridiculous number. I will be as brief as possible on these. Some I'll have more to say about than others. Some of them I'll be lucky if I remember all that much. But like I said, I'll tell you whether I think uh, they're worth your time and just kind of stop in the series on my poll. There are at least a couple of things in here that you heard me talk about the last time I was on camera for comics, I think, because it's been almost 4 weeks, I think, since our last show with comics that came out Tuesday. So, like, I'm pretty sure the last comic show we had, I had a Drell, Father of Krypton, or whatever that book is called.
And I think you had Absolute Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
which I am not even caught up on that last issue beforehand, not just this week's.
Uh, it adds to the stuff the last issue did, Austin. That's what it does. It it finishes an arc. It is the
Oh, yeah, that
last
makes
it
sense.
is the last issue, that arc, now that I'm thinking about it.
She tends to do like 5 issues, 2 issues, 5 issues,
This one was just
2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because the last one we had the like 5 issue Zatanna arc.
What I think is kind of funny about it is, sorry, I was trying to make a joke and a good joke did not come to me. I was going to try to be as vague as humanly possible and then it'd be like, "Oh no, I spoiled it for Austin." But it's funny because when we reviewed the first arc, when you and I did a vault on that, we were kind of speculating as to whether Cersei or Minerva would ever be bad guys in that series, because we could see them both just kind of being, allies and friends with her all the way, and Absolute's doing a lot of, kind of like surprises with characters and fake outs, and like in certain ways their Catwoman is the opposite of what Catwoman usually is. Like sometimes we do almost a mirror universe version of a character, and sometimes it's pretty classic, that character, but there's like a little twist, or they're colored differently because they're in this like scary dark side universe, and so it's real case by case. But with that 2 issue arc, we're kind of answering that question for both of them, where it's like, no, eventually they'll probably both be bad guys. I think it's funny that she
Oh,
did and I don't know for sure with Cersei, but I kind of think it's going to go that way eventually. Obviously,
when
definitely
Cheetah,
with
like definitely the
yeah,
last issue I
well,
read was
because
like
she's
Cheetah's coming.
yeah, and she is about to be transformed full on. By the end of that, but it's just funny that she wrote a 2 issue arc that is featuring both of those characters. Like both the characters we were wondering, will they be bad guys? And just the fact that they're both the featured characters in that arc tells me that they will both be bad guys.
I'm also convinced that she made sure to do a Cersei arc when the Odyssey came out. Like that was
Oh, that's
planned.
funny. Yeah,
Maybe it wasn't, but I'm convinced it was.
maybe so. But yeah, it's like Wonder Woman's going to rescue her, and it's fun seeing her have to go back to hell, and then um Minerva's getting closer to becoming Cheetah and is being kind of tempted, um in almost like a biblical kind of sense, which is cool. With the goddess that I forget her name, that's gonna transform her. That's like, don't aren't you deserving of this? Don't you want to be a demigod like Wonder Woman? And is kind of dangling that in front of her, like comparing her, um, too much to her friend. And I like that a lot.
That's cool. I'm excited to get to it.
Well, I guess I talked about that. Um,
I think I heard recently Kelly Thompson saying that Ares is coming soon, so I don't know if that'll be the next arc
oh, interesting.
or
That would make sense if she's going to go
sometime
to another
soon.
5 right away, though. That, like, her next 5-issue arc would be, here comes Ares. That would make
Yeah,
sense.
unless it could be just a big 5 issue Cheetah arc too. I'm not sure, like depending on where this ends.
Nicholas Bodo, I still don't see the Cersei turning evil at all. That's just the hunch I have. I don't have a lot to base that on right now. um, I guess except for, and this is the other kind of major angle with that story, is that Wonder Woman is in kind of the lowest, like saddest place we've seen her so far. I don't want to say she's coming unglued and she's losing herself, but it's the least self-assured and certain that we've seen her so far, which is kind of sad and hard to see because she's always uh, so like inspiring and um got herself together that it's hard to see her like that. And then Nicholas Bodo also says Barbara will probably have a similar role to Bruce's friends in Absolute Batman. That's a good call. Where like you're seeing her going down a darker path, but they're still trying to keep a friendship, and it's like it's kind of holding by a thread and real splintered.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Real kind of fractured.
I'm gonna say this about a couple other books, Austin, but I really need to go back and actually catch up on this because there's
Oh yeah,
that.
'cause I guess you're still missing like kind of like a chunk.
I am. I still haven't read the Labyrinth stuff or whatever that was,
Mhm.
and that was one of those 5 issues I think, and there's even probably a couple
Yeah, it is.
issues before that I missed,
Yeah,
and
because there's a 2 issue one with Cersei as well. That's like a big gladiator arena one.
it's getting
Before the
in.
labyrinth.
Some of these things now, even if I've read all of them, are just getting involved enough that I need a refresher. Where like month to month, I'm not
Yeah,
keeping up with them super well, especially because I'm reading too much. And I
yeah.
don't
I
mean to
mean
make
that's
excuses, but
fair.
just with everything else we talk about the channel and stuff too, if I'm ever not super articulate, it's because I I remember the one I just read, but like some of what happened before that, keeping up with all of it's not always the easiest thing. Which is one of the
Yeah,
reasons, and I don't know if some of that is just I'm getting older, or if it's just I've got too much on my mind, too much going on. It's one of the many reasons that I years ago I quit reviewing new. But I'm buying the stuff and I'm liking it well enough. I hate to not say anything about it. So
yeah, for sure.
here we are. But yeah, so like Austin said, he didn't get a chance to read the brand new stuff from this week. So the other things that I have that we both read from this week, I'll hit just real briefly a little bit later. But why don't we go ahead and hit the things that we both have that we did both read, Austin, right after I read this $10 super chat from Bob the Hun.
Yay.
He says Whedon's X-Men plus Deadpool Max, the latter is a very fascinating and different book. Very obviously pre-Ryan Reynolds 2016 Deadpool. It's a time capsule. He's not even the main character. Yeah, I've not read Deadpool Max. Whedon's X-Men,
Yeah,
I want to say I've reviewed at least the first arc of. I'll check real quick. That's astonishing.
yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm not saying it's astonishing if I've not read it. I mean, it's called Astonishing. Um, if I have, it's not coming up right away. So yeah, I'll put that on the wheel.
Cool. Yeah, and the Big Max books I know obviously are Punisher and Alias. Like outside of that, Max is an imprint or line or whatever is kind of a blind spot for me.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's just the Jason Aaron Punisher, and then the previous Max run, the bits of it people have made me talk about. I don't know. I don't know if
Which
I've
I
read
do
any.
think is close to like half now.
Yeah, probably so. But like, probably not in order. I don't think I've reviewed
No,
that
just kind of centered.
chronologically.
And Spider-Fan asks how many things are in the lottery right now.
Oh boy, I knew somebody was gonna ask me
Probably
that.
a lot.
It's at least 40, if not 50.
Oh my god.
I'll count here in a
That's,
second.
but we do get like a ton every week. That's not really slowed down. Like it's
No, since we added it, it's been at least 5 to 7 every week, and the first 3 weeks we
yeah,
broke the record each week.
that's
I'm
yeah, that's true.
wondering if it's something. I'm wondering how far we should let it go before we cap it.
Yeah, I mean it's entirely up to you.
Like, I don't know if it's fair if it like hits 100,
Hmm.
but I mean at the same time, if people just understand like statistically, we can't promise that yours will ever come up with as many as we have now, because we're not even doing 52 of these a year. We have to skip occasionally,
Yeah,
and so
but like
there's
I said,
now
there's no plans of stopping, so
yeah.
we're trucking along.
But I just need people to understand that again. I know we keep saying this, but like it is a lottery. Like it's not like
Yeah,
Request where we're promising we will do it. We're promising we'll put
yeah,
it on the wheel and it has a chance at coming up. That's what it is. It's a lottery. It's a raffle. Anyway you want to put it. You might win, but you have to pay to have a chance at winning. I don't
and not a 50-50 raffle.
I don't even know if I'm breaking YouTube's terms of service by doing this. I think it's okay.
You're gonna get shut down for gambling.
That would be so funny. I should probably check and make sure this is within the rules. Although I used to do it for Star Trek Club and I never had a problem.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Anyway, Deadpool Max was the other one. Let me get that.
What is Google gonna do with small ass company?
I think you're gonna say with our small ass channel.
No,
What do
I'm
they
calling
care?
them small.
They're not gonna notice.
They can't compare to our power cap. What can they do? They only exist on the internet.
Once again, I do really appreciate the support, though, guys. Thanks a ton. In my defense, I did not expect this to blow up the way it has when we offered that. I figured it'd be one or two a show, maybe.
Yeah, it's all good.
Braden, I've seen others do similar stuff. I have too. I think it's
Yeah,
kosher or kosher enough. Just as long as we're all on the same playing field and people know I'm not, trying to do anything dicey. Like we're being,
yeah.
uh, upfront and clear about what it is we're doing and making no promises about, what we'll review. If it
That's
comes up, we'll review it.
become comic book Mr. Beast. Be like, I gave Supergirl movie tickets to 5 million fans that all had AIDS.
Spider Fan, the solution is to keep less things on the wheel going forward, maybe to up the price for lottery tickets, at least for a while. I don't know if I want to do that. That does
I
sound
don't know,
like
I'm just a humble servant.
basic economics, but I don't know if I want to do that. Anyway,
Yeah,
Austin,
we only believe in Reaganomics here.
what would you like to start with, sir?
Dealer's choice. You have them in front of you, so
I know,
you hit
but
me with what you want to
I
go with.
don't have them in much of an order. Let's do
That's fine.
Transformers number 34. Did you read this?
I did. That was the first book I read for this week.
Oh, good. So I'm sure it's
So
very
been a couple
fresh in
days.
your mind.
Yes, it's been a couple days, but yeah.
I love this cover because it's Doc Brown from Back to the Future choking out a random military man, and it's wonderful.
Well, I was excited because that's a character from the G1 cartoon, so I was like, "Oh, we're going to some of the like human villain stuff. That's
Yeah.
fun."
Well, I figured it was probably someone recognizable, given that it looks so much like another character. It would be really
Mm.
weird to make this character up and then put him on the
Yeah.
cover. Also, am I wrong? Does this not have the distinction of being the first Transformers cover that does not feature a Transformer?
Yes, I think that
in
is
in
the
this
case for
series
the series. Yeah,
anyway. The only
yeah, I know what you
thing
meant. But yeah, I think it is.
that makes it look for a second at first glance, if you don't know anything about this, that might be Transformers related, is that he's got a robot hand, but I don't think that's because of Transformers.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
is
no,
that
exactly.
Autobot technology? I don't think it is.
Oh, I mean, it's been forever since I've seen that character in the comics, but I don't think it is. Or sorry, in the show. But here, I don't think it is. So I
I
don't think it is in
kid you
general.
not. I pulled
Yeah.
this out of my comic bag this week, and two of my kids individually walked up to it and were like, "Why is Doc Brown in this Transformers comic?" Which is funny because they did a Back to the Future Transformers crossover a few years ago, also.
Yeah.
So there's even
Oh, yeah, I
precedent for
hit my
that.
head on the toilet and realized I had to kill Optimus Prime.
I I think in a certain way, I this is like this is not the most like shocking or exciting or best issue that Kirkman's written so far, but in some ways it's my favorite of his run so far.
Okay,
Cuz
interesting.
it's just a lot of variety, and
Yeah.
there's a lot, like all the subplots are interesting. He's got like three different big things happening all at the same time. There's a lot of kind of cool fan service in it. It opens with this general guy. Was it General Flag? Is that his name?
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
I
that's been the military handler for Optimus.
Yeah, and I like him. And
Yeah.
his relationship with Optimus. It's a cool dynamic, and you're always kind of wondering how much you can trust him and all of that. I
I like that he's like, why do you have a mouth now? I don't like that.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that's the first you open it up, and the very first line is, "Why can I see your mouth?" Because he's dropped down from Prime to just Optimus, and I was like, "That's wonderful. What a good
And
line."
it comes up in the letters pages. I was surprised by it. Somebody was like, I love the series. Boo Optimus having a mouth. I always hate that. And Kirkman was like, look, so do I. I'm going to be honest. I also always hate him with a mouth. But we tested the design like, without the mouth, and he just looked like nothing changed. So they were like, we need something to differentiate it. And I was like, okay, I can accept your reasoning, Kirkman, even though I also don't love Optimus with a mouth.
No, but I agree with him because I like that it kind of looks off putting, and
Yeah.
like we shouldn't love that design. We should be
Mhm.
chomping at the bit to see him become a Prime again. Like the best
No, good
argument
call.
for it is that we don't like it.
That's actually a really good call.
And also there's precedent for it because we did the exact same thing in Transformers 1.
Yep. Yeah, and Orion Pax typically has a mouth.
Does he?
So like yeah, because original Orion Pax, you're not even supposed to know he's connected to Optimus Prime. So he's got like
Yeah.
a bit of a different look. But there's like hints of that in his design.
Well, see,
But it's supposed to be a reveal for
I
the
saw few
kids.
enough trailers, which were horrible trailers, by the way, for Transformers 1, that it actually took me a few minutes in the movie theater to realize that I was looking at Optimus and Megatron, and then I felt like an idiot. I was like, oh yeah, we're clearly doing a Clark Lex Luthor thing. How did I not pick up on this? And that was the
Yeah,
moment where
for
I
sure.
realized if they stuck the landing, it would be my favorite Transformers thing because I love that trope,
'Cause it
and they
was that,
nailed it.
yeah.
Where the like X-Men First Class thing, like they nailed it.
Yeah, I know for sure. The big two things for me that I was very hyped about with this issue, because I agree, like it's a lot of just kind of here's different subplots, and they're all pretty interesting. But the first one was when they destroyed Chicago. It's been mostly rebuilt, and they're calling it Autobot City now. So I was
Oh,
like, oh,
yep.
cool, we're already getting to an Autobot City. That's cool. And the other one is
34 in, that's reasonable.
I'm shocked we're there that early. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and are you shocked that we're there before Dinobots? Because I know you keep asking for Dinobots,
Well, that was
and
my second thing.
I was flipping through the sorry, real quick. I was flipping through the first omnibus for Marvel Transformers, which I gave my son Mikey for his birthday. I gave him both of those, so he's got the first 100 issues in trade of that series, and they do the Dinobots by issue 8.
Oh, yeah, they do them really early, and well, especially because like everybody dies in like issue 4 or 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
and then
dude,
it becomes Ratchet and
Shockwave.
the
I
Dinobots
was
for a while.
surprised by this because I was flipping through it and I haven't read a whole issue yet, but I stopped at some Shockwave stuff and I started reading some of his dialogue out loud because like it's so wordy. He's got these big speeches, and then after a while, I was kind of engaged with it. I was like, no, this is pretty decently written. I was surprised that Shockwave takes over the Decepticons really early in that, and he's like talking
Yeah.
down to Megatron, and Megatron seems like kind of a putz next to Shockwave. It's great.
Yeah, because that was like a 4 issue mini, and then they extended it
Yes,
to an ongoing. And the last issue of what would be the mini is just Shockwave showing up and everybody dies, and then it's like everybody's dead. Don't worry, it was picked up as an ongoing, so we'll be back in issue 5.
that's so good.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Marvel Transformers is a big part of why Shockwave's my favorite Decepticon. He's great in that book. Uh, but no, the other thing is oh, what is his name? The original character that Johnson creates, Shell. I want to say it's Shellhead, but I feel like that's wrong.
Shredhead,
Shredhead. Thank you,
which is
Shredhead.
easy for me to remember because it's a Shredder nickname.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's how
uh,
I can do it. Yeah,
but he like potentially dies, but
yeah.
so we leave this issue with, oh, he's really badly hurt, possibly dead. Um, Next issue is Wheeljack on the cover, and we've been like slowly seeing Wheeljack creating the Dinobots because he's the one who does it in the original cartoon. And when we create Shredhead, we specifically go. They are all. He is all of Cliffjumper's clan, like merged into one being. I'm like, oh man, is he gonna be like separated into all the Dinobots? Because that's where I
Oh,
feel like they're going. Because he's also like the warrior one. He's got like his flaming sword. I'm like, he might be the basis for the Dinobots. I don't know, but we're going somewhere with that.
they have been building the Dinobots so gradually. I want it to be a big event that's like either its own miniseries or goes between books, where it's like now GI Joe is stuck dealing with the Dinobots, and
I love
somehow
that.
we get them into Void Rivals. Like Mask is doing them. Like
Yeah, 100%. Give them their own ongoing. We love the Dinobots.
the other reason this might be my favorite issue so far. Again, it's not the best, but I've got a bias because we gave Cliff Jumper a freeing sword, and
Yeah.
that was great. That
Well, he
makes me
takes
happy.
out Bruticus. Like it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's tiny. They had like a
Yeah.
whole uh like David Goliath thing going on with that.
Mhm. Yeah, because Cliffjumper's not much bigger than a person.
Yeah,
No, it was cool.
but I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, like I said, that was one of the first ones I read, but I really dug that. It was
But
it was a good starting place.
can we both agree the scene the cover comes from is real weird?
It's very wacky.
Because this happens. He comes in, he just chokes him out, and then he's like, "Nah, I was here to promote you." And he's like, "Okay."
My favorite part is then Optimus just walks in and he's like, "You weren't gonna help me," and he's like, I thought you had it. It's all good."
I want Optimus to start using the excuse "I'm not a Prime" anymore for anything he doesn't want to do.
Optimus, take the trash out. I'm not a Prime
I'm
anymore.
not
I
a
can't do
Prime.
that.
I don't have to take out the trash.
Well, that's another good bit. Is they're
Cliff
like, "Oh,
Jumper! Cliff Jumper! Take out the trash!
do it for me now." Uh, General Flag's like, "Oh, everybody loves the Autobots. They're calling Chicago Autobot City because you guys helped rebuild it." And he's like, we're not technically Autobots
Yeah.
anymore." And
And he's
he's
like,
like, "Yeah, okay, look,
damn it, it's
it
gonna
took
confuse
this long.
everybody.
It took this long for them to understand Autobots good, Decepticons bad. We're not mixing that up, okay?"
You know what they should have done? They should do like a meta thing in universe where a toy company like Hasbro creates Transformers figures just so that people understand which ones are the good guys and which ones are the bad guys. They just sell them to
Yeah,
kids, and then everybody's like, "Oh, well, I mean, these are the Autobots. Those are the ones that my kids say are the good guys."
exactly. They'll
Uh,
create the GoBots because Hasbro owns the GoBots now.
watch them bring that into
They
Energon.
could.
That'd be weird. I Well, I've gotta read it because it's a name of one of our viewers, Clown Looking Funny Man. I didn't make it up. $5 super chat wants Luke Cage Max on the wheel. Someone put that on there, and I actually have to type out
Cool.
Clown Looking Funny Man. Clown.
What I want to
Okay,
know is, are you a funny man that licks clowns, or are you a clown that is currently licking a funny
a
man?
funny man.
Or
Yeah,
are you both a clown that is a funny man and you are licking?
that makes it kind of redundant because clowns are ostensibly supposed to be funny men in the first place.
But not always.
It's true. Yeah. It almost needs punctuation, like in the username. You know?
No, I like guessing. I feel like that's part of it.
Okay, we spent way too much on time on that, but I will say that was one of my favorite books from this last whole month, I guess. I can't even say book of the week because we're this for a short time
Book of
became a
the
monthly
week.
show. Did you get to no, this just came out this week. You wouldn't have gotten to that yet. Barbara Gordon Breakout. Did you get to that?
Yep.
Okay, tell us about that.
Outside of this week, I made sure to hit everything that we have together.
That's number 3.
It is number 3. It is a lot of Barbara Gordon tripping out and trying to figure out what's going on, and then it's flashing back and forth between her finding this person that the Joker kidnapped, and it turns out that the name is a trick, and the name is just ha 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 with some other letters mixed in, and it was a trap. And now she realizes that coming into the prison was also a trap.
That's the big. He just
And
gave away the whole big ending of the issue. Is that like she thought she was being all undercover and stealthy and was playing the prison, but it turns out that somebody wanted her there in the first place. So she wants to be there, but somebody set her up to be there. Uh oh no.
exactly,
So
it's
that
the reverse of Joker wanted to be caught. It's Barbara, they wanted you to be caught.
I will say I didn't
Uh,
call that.
no, I didn't either, and I don't offhand know who that mysterious computer wielding foe could be.
I don't either. And is it somebody that's going to be like pretty clearly connected to uh what's her name, Two-Face's daughter? Like did that guy hire her? That was a question I had.
Yeah, because that's who's giving Barbara the drugs. Is that right? Is
Oh yeah, so
Two
so they'd
Face's
have to be
daughter?
working together.
Well, I wondered if that was maybe Gordon that like had an in, because one of the issues makes it seem like maybe that's what's happening, but probably not. It probably is whatever's going on with that. Yeah, I don't know.
I still really like the atmosphere of this book.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that this book's really slow and going nowhere. Uh, but yeah, I have the same thing. Like, I really like the atmosphere of it.
The criticism that that it's taking its time too much is totally fair. Like I am a little bit worried that we'll get to the end of 4 and be like, you could have done this in 2 issues. I will
Yeah.
say the flashbacks didn't help this feel like it doesn't get enough done. Where like it feels
That's
like
fair.
it's writing to a surprise ending and it doesn't quite have enough to fill that page count. So it's like we know by the end, and it's okay to write this way, I guess, but you don't want to feel like you're doing that, right? So it's like by the end of issue 3, we want, you could see this like in a writer's room or something, like we want to surprise the audience with it was all a trap. uh
Yeah.
Star Wars Mon Calamari, it's a trap.
It does help that like each issue has had like kind of going back and forth between her past as Batgirl, so it doesn't feel like it comes completely out of nowhere. But I can see where you're coming from.
Was the point of the flashback just a what do you call it? Just a parallel in what's happening here, or are we
I think
supposed
that
to,
yeah.
or are we supposed to think that that Joker plot was somehow related to the plot that's happening here?
I think it's just a paralleling thing of like she's also just kind of gone head first into something.
Yeah, and like, is she remembering that flashback, or is that just for our benefit? Like, is she thinking
She
back to?
definitely is because
Okay.
she's like mentioning it in scene where
Oh,
she's
I
like,
forgot about that.
oh, this person," and they're like, "What the hell are you talking
Well,
about?"
that
But
that
she, like I
works
said,
though. That you'd be
she's
like,
tripping out the entire issue. Like she's on drugs, she's
oh,
beat up.
she's like re-experiencing it, and
Yeah, she's like hallucinating through most of this issue. Same with there's
well,
like
then
that
it's maybe a
circle
little
on the wall.
convenient that the
Mm,
thing she's hallucinating is so like thematically related to what's going on, but like it works.
yeah, yeah, no, exactly.
I have one gripe, which is a
Yeah.
stupid gripe, and that is I don't like the flashbacks take place years ago, and she's wearing that rebirth costume. Like, I want it to be a more classic old school Batgirl costume if it's years ago.
Yeah, well, I have no idea what the continuity of that stuff is anymore.
I don't either, but it's not even just about continuity. I'm not the biggest fan of that suit. I know it was really popular, but
Mm,
like you have, and also that's more or less what she's been wearing lately when she's Batgirl. So if it's years ago, go back to an old suit so that it
mhm.
feels like it happened a long time ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
Your complaint was that her
it's very minor.
prisoner number wasn't 8675 309, but
Well,
that's also yeah.
I also felt like that was kind of nitpicking, but that would have been wonderful, especially because she has to say it in dialogue. And he's like, because all the women in the prison are saying their numbers, and you get to Barbara Gordon, 867. That would have
and then
been
the guard's
wonderful.
like, "I got it,
I got it.
got it."
See, we're talking about the kind of broody atmosphere that we're liking. That might have taken us out just a little bit.
That's MCU dialogue.
And then they would have taken it way too far, where somebody on the far end of the prison would have been like, "For a good time, call."
Yeah. Well, okay, now we're getting into Tom King dialogue.
What do you want to do next? Did you read Absolute Green Arrow?
Yes, I did.
Absolute Green Arrow number 3. Okay, I didn't think that I would be saying this by issue 3, but the thing that's kind of the obvious premise for this book, where we're at by the end of this issue, is pointing toward that's probably what it is. But I'm still thinking we're missing something, and it's not going to be that easy, right? The idea that it's a
Yeah.
resurrected Oliver Queen that's going around murdering everyone, like there's we've got resurrected corpses now in this book,
Mhm.
like other examples of them in like scary uh what we're trying to say, like bio lab experiments. So like
Yo, we've
by
got Solomon Grundy and Flat Stanley.
by all accounts that's what it ought to be, and
Mhm.
various characters think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember who it is, but
Uh,
somebody in this is like, "No, Oliver's not dead." And then I'm like, "Oh,
oh, Roy
really?"
Harper.
Roy Harper. Are they maybe going that way? And then you get to the end, and it's like, it looks like it should be that. You know it's not gonna be that easy.
Mhm. No, because he needs to be a demon. Uh, I thought where we were going with that is because he's like,
Oh,
no,
that's
he's
right.
alive. Like,
You weren't
can
even
see?
thinking genetic engineering. You wanted it to be supernatural.
I want him to be Scorpion from Mortal Kombat because that's what he looks like. He's a demon. He's
Do
come
you
for
think it would
revenge.
be? Do you think though? And I'm just asking. I'm not even saying in my
Yeah.
opinion on this yet, because I'm torn. But do you think by this point, with what we've had in this book so far, it would be sort of like jarring and almost against the tone and feel of this book to suddenly add a supernatural component like that? I guess when I say supernatural, I mean like an occult kind of component to it.
No, no, I don't think so. I mean, he's also got like a creepy demon mask. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, cool! They're doing undead skeleton Green Arrow." So yeah, I don't know.
We got another super chat, and I will put this on the list. We've got some super chats from folks that I don't recognize, so I wonder if they're like renamed people that we know or new folks. Cut your flesh on my teeth. five
This
dollars
is
super
my
chat.
last resort.
I'm struggling to not think that that is the same person as Clown Looking Funny Man, but it may not be. Archangels, the saga from Eternals comics. It's a religious comic from the 90s. I can't be sure we can find such a thing. And also, I gotta mention that a lot of the like free reading comic sites that are sort of dicey to go to are being systematically dropped from the internet. And I only bring that up to say sometimes that's the only place to find out of print things that would be impossible to read in
Yeah,
any other way, and it's getting more and more unlikely to be able to read out of print things. And if all of those go down, we'll be sunk when it comes to stuff like that. Which means if it comes up on the wheel and there's literally no way to read it, um, it's not a matter of like, are we trying to cheat or not? That's the only way to do it. We're like
no, like
nobody can make money from it. Then
I've
like
been wanting to read Freddy vs. Jason versus Ash, which has been out of print for like I don't know over a decade at this
just
point,
no way to
and
get
I'm
it.
like I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find it at this point because so many of those places have been taken down.
So I can put these things on the wheel, but if they come up and we can't read them, I then we'll have to either spin again, or if that person is around, we can get another request from them.
But if you're constantly shifting your name, we'll never know
Yeah, there's
if it
that.
is a case of that.
It may not be, but I'm suspicious. Sorry, let me just get this on the wheel real fast.
You're good. He
Okay.
says if that's the case, I can switch to Punisher Max Barracuda.
Okay. I'll just put that in with it so that I've got an alternate.
Oh, and then he just deleted it.
Okay. Well, it's in there now.
Well,
Anyway, so tell us more about Absolute Green Arrow.
yeah. So Black Canary is hanging out with Roy Harper, who's tweaking out from being around this drug that is turning people into monsters.
You know why? Because he's Roy
And
Harper. That's why.
well, yeah, 100%. And we find out that Roy Harper kind of sold Oliver Queen out in the first place and is the reason why he died. So like that added some more salt on what was going on with that whole thing. And yeah, it was mainly just kind of fleshing out Roy Harper.
I One of the things, and we've talked about this a little bit, that I appreciate about this book is that as politically scathing as it is, it's scathing on all sides. I really appreciated because we haven't had a whole lot in the way of flashbacks with Oliver Queen yet. There was a big one in the first issue with Black Canary. And then this one, and maybe there's one in the second issue too. Maybe they're doing one each issue, and I just don't remember from two.
I think they have been.
But this one has a really good speech from him about how if you're as rich as he is, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And
Mhm.
that really spoke a lot of truth to me. I really liked seeing the kind of negative side of being a billionaire, and how it's just really thoughtful writing where we're thinking about all the people involved. Where like it's really easy to sit on the sidelines and be like, well, your life's so easy if you're a billionaire, but then you go to the billionaire and he's like, well, here's what sucks about it, and like both things can be true at the same time, right? So when he says, like, well, if you complain about anything when you're this rich, everybody says, well, how dare you? You're so rich, you have nothing to complain about. But if you say anything you're happy about, then everybody says, how dare you brag and look down on the little people because you're so rich. I really liked that speech.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's really good, and this book's done a really good job with that stuff. And I really liked the whole, uh, like half of this book feels like a response to that was like CEO, I think, that was killed,
We talked about
and there
that with
was
the
all those
first
people that
issue.
were championing it
Championing his
like in
death.
real life,
Yeah.
and this book's like really going in on that uh, from
But
both angles, which I think is cool.
in both angles, it's not letting the billionaires off the hook, but it's also
Mhm.
telling everybody else, well, don't lose your humanity in the middle of it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, like, it doesn't read diplomatic. Like, it doesn't play both sides in the sense that it's trying to make everybody happy or not offend people. If anything, it's trying to offend everybody, which, like, I really
Mhm.
respect it for. Like, in the right way, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
No, I mean that's cool in like this really dark world, obviously.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do, in absolute. And it's also kind of
Yeah.
fun in contrast with Catwoman, which is also a miniseries and so light in comparison.
Oh, okay.
Like it's the brightest, least. I'll talk about that a little later, but like least oppressive and dark and horror-y of the absolute book so far.
Yeah, probably like that in Flash, I guess.
Yeah, I think even more so than Flash, from what I've read of Flash. But
Yeah.
and like I don't love it. It's not as anything like as good as Absolute Green Arrow, but it's just cool that we are able to have that kind of contrast while still not losing uh the like darkness at the heart of that universe. Like it still feels like it takes place there,
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. No, there's a lot of variety in the different books.
which is impressive considering like the premise of the whole thing. Like it should be
Hmm.
difficult to have that much variety. You'd think
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
they'd all be horror books, and they're really not.
Hmm.
Now, there's a lot of different
They're all
kinds of horror
asshole books.
within it.
Hmm. Yep,
Like
that is true.
Flash, I would not describe that way, but like Green Lantern is kind of a horror book, but of a very different flavor than Martian Manhunter, which is like a
Yeah, it's pretty
psychological
like
horror
Stephen
book.
Kingy too.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Green Lantern, you're saying? Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah,
And then Batman's got a lot of body horror
yeah, I
kind of
know. Good
stuff.
call.
That's like Cronenberg's Batman, maybe.
And Superman's got some of that, especially with Brainiac.
Yeah, that's true. But Superman, I would put in more the category of like sci-fi horror of like a uh,
Yeah.
in a Terminator or Alien kind of camp.
Hmm. No, probably.
I just thought of that. Dan Schneider, $5 super chat, balancing my troll picks with something good. Well, it's not balanced if you. I'm not asking you to put more super chats in, but like most of your pulls tonight have been troll-ish. Balancing my troll picks with something good, but still keeping in with the Gooner spirit. I pick Ed Brubaker's Catwoman. Tell Capwa, yeah, I don't know what that means.
Basically, like pervert. I have to
Oh, okay.
explain the Gooner thing last, or like
Maybe
on a show
so, but
recently.
if it's a term like that I'm not familiar with, you will have to tell me 6 different times.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it basically just means pervert.
Look, I'm tired of having to take uh, tests from you guys about like slang words. Um. Okay. But no, in all seriousness, thanks for the support once again. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say about that?
No, that's pretty much it.
These have all been great
It was
covers.
cool. Yes.
This one is especially wonderful because it's his face on the $1 bill. Does he look like he's joking? Okay. Austin,
Kinda.
tell us about Batman 11.
Yes. Batman 11 follows up the Ojo assassin that attacked Bruce when he was on his date, and now she's attacking Batman. And
Yes.
the people that hired her to kill Bruce Wayne have opened it up for everyone to attack Bruce Wayne.
She's
and now
got a cool
she's
suit.
pissy about it. Yeah.
Scary,
She does look neat.
Scary assassin lady.
And so she's got to fight Batman, and Batman, there's like a whole thing where they get caught by the police, and Vandal Savage, of course, is like, just shoot him, whatever, who cares? And that breaks up the fight. And then we get a big reveal at the end of the issue of a new character.
I don't even remember this. Hold on. What was it? Oh yes. Oh yes.
Uncle Alfred.
They basically gave us Barbara from Batman and Robin, but renamed her.
Oh yeah, I mean, more so, we just made a female Alfred. I like that she refers.
Oh,
to
you
Damian
can't tell me they're not
Bruce.
thinking about that. She's like the same age.
She's definitely older. I don't think she's college age. I would say she's probably like closer to Bruce's age.
Oh, really? You're gonna base that on a drawing on one panel? Yeah. She looks like she could be 16 years old.
No, she's definitely like 80. Right. No, but I feel like she's probably close to Bruce's age.
Wow, she's really wearing her age well for 80. That's amazing.
Yeah, I really like that she calls Bruce and Damian Mr. and Master Wayne.
Yeah.
Because, of course, if you don't know, Master, for that kind of British speak, is when you're underage. And it was something I'd never really thought of until seeing it like this. But I was like, that's maybe a cool touch with Alfred that he calls him that because he's like the father figure to Bruce. So, like, he still has that kind of young kid mentality for Bruce Wayne.
But you're right. I didn't even catch that. The distinction where she breaks it up like that.
Yeah, and they like specifically do like master, like all in caps, like, and they really emphasize it. And I thought that was kind of neat.
There's two big things that you didn't bring up from this issue.
One of them's Danny DeVito.
One of them is that Danny DeVito's Penguin is just here, and like he's introduced coming downstairs in exactly the same pose as in the mayor scene, like with his flippers in the same sort of place. And I was immediately kind of surprised by that. It was just
when he was in an earlier issue, but I don't remember him looking just straight up like DeVito Penguin.
This much like DeVito Penguin. And then the other thing you didn't mention is that there's 2 full pages of Bruce explaining to his new girlfriend the entire history he has with Ra's al Ghul and Damian Wayne. We go through the whole history with major recognizable covers and panels from like Denny O'Neil and stuff.
Yeah, no, I did forget to mention that, and I don't know why, because that's the big thing I heard about this going into it. So I don't know how that's one thing.
You know what? I'm sorry. Let me stop right for a second. I draw the line, clown looking funny man. I draw the line. That I'm not gonna do. I'm just not gonna do it.
You don't want to do Harley Quinn fartacular silent but deadly?
No. This is just my sense of, I'll do a lot of things. I'm not gonna do that.
You will do anything for love, but you won't do that. Yeah.
Especially if I had to go out of my way to purchase that. Like, there's no way that's going in my boxes. And
you don't have to buy it
if I can't find it. It would take me some real convincing to put that on the wheel. And we put some crappy sounding things on the wheel, but
I
I think
mean, I'm
that's
not gonna be the one to convince you to read Harley Quinn Fartacular. So you're talking to the wrong person about that, but I don't know.
um yeah.
Clown
Pl-
Linking Funny Man
please do
says
me a
he
favor
accepts
and
your ruling and will. I just wanted a reaction from you.
oh,
He will switch it with something better.
why
We have talked
why
about
are
that like here and there, but obviously we haven't read it.
why are you getting uh comments before I am?
Do you have it set to top messages? Because sometimes that does affect it.
Top messages. I'm so bad at this.
There should be like a chat filter, and it should say top messages or all messages. It might be that.
Um yeah, I don't know in studio if that's even an option
Yeah, that I'm not sure.
because I'm looking at this in the back end.
Mhm. Robert says that can be our $1,000 super chat goal is reading
I see
Harley
that.
Quinn Fartacular, and that you're perfectly accepting the swimsuit. Oh wait, no, I just saw swim and like assumed I knew what he was saying and didn't read the
That's
rest
true
of
though.
it.
Maybe it's a little bit hypocritical of me to do that and not the Harley Quinn thing, but one of these things does feel different to me.
We just
Yeah,
learned I'm dyslexic on
I
camera.
don't know. One of these things just sounds like really stupid, and the other one is disgusting, and I don't want to do it. And I don't want to, and I don't want to put that in a title of a video.
You don't want to put Cap reviews fart fetish comic.
Yeah. Do you see why?
No.
um. Anyway, I don't have a ton to say about this one, but I liked it quite a bit. I thought, kind of like with Transformers, there was just a nice variety of action um,
Yeah.
and like kind of downtime talky scenes and some really nice panel layouts.
No, I thought the exact same thing.
This is
Just
definitely one of the. This is definitely up there, maybe the top two or three prettiest issues of this run so far. Particularly the stuff with the lady assassin on the roofs. The panel layouts there and the coloring is so good.
yeah, it's hard for me to say. It's been pretty consistently like well drawn. I don't like. I'd have to go through each issue to kind of pick them,
It
but
has, but something about this one kind of jumped out at me a little bit harder. It might
yeah,
just be
no, that's fair.
because I'm a sucker for.
For Pan,
No, I'm talking. No, I'm a sucker for cool outfits like that where you have like a bad guy or an assassin with a big ass hat. That's fun.
yeah. No, she's very kind of Bayonetta.
You know what? Maybe that's it because I love the look of Bayonetta. The only thing that would make it better is if she was firing bullets out of her feet.
Oh,
Because well, that's what Bayonetta does. She has
oh,
like
okay. I
she has
don't know.
like oh you don't know she's got like shoe guns.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know.
Like that's one of the really unique things. But I've played like a few hours of that game. I've never gotten real far in, but that's one of the really unique things about that game is just the way she moves. Cause uh she'll like get on her hands and kind of bend and then shoot over her back, and she's like with her feet, and then she's got like guns on her feet, and it's really cool. It's just crazy the way that character moves. And then they put her
Cool.
in Smash.
Clown looking funny man says Harley and Ivy by Bruce Timm. Is that acceptable? Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, we can do that. I just don't get why you're seeing his comments and I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know what that would look like on the studio.
But I'm seeing
But I would
everything else that comes in. We've never had this before, where you're seeing comments that I'm not.
okay, but I just switched to top chat. That's definitely what it is. Because when I hit top chat, his comments are deleted. But when I go to all messages, it is there. I just like I said, I don't know how to fix that on studio.
Okay, I just fixed it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I don't really understand why it's kicking his comments out if we have it the other way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Harley and Ivy. Let me get that written down. Thanks again for the support, and sorry for vetoing stuff. I don't usually do that.
And Robert says that Doug Dimmadome is his favorite criminal with a big hat. I agree.
What else do we have together?
What do we have together?
That might be it with
Did you read Absolute
new
Martian
stuff.
Manhunter number 12? I think
Yes,
that's it.
I thought that was this week. Maybe that was last week.
No, I think it was that must have been last week.
Okay, yeah, that's why I didn't pick it yet, because for some reason I thought that came out this Wednesday. But you're right, that was at least a week, if not two, before that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend like I fully understand everything that is happening in this book in general, much less this last issue. But I appreciated it as a character study, and I appreciated a lot of the thematic ideas in it and what the ultimate kind of point of the whole thing is. The kind of communication idea, and that what kind of divides us and splinters us is that even if we're speaking the same language, we're not speaking the same language. All of that was really good, and I was surprised by how uplifting the thing is by the end.
Yeah, I adored this issue. I thought it was
Yeah, I
wonderful.
liked it a lot.
Everything, because we go like him and his wife, and then him and his kid, and oh man, it was so beautiful. All of
The
that
stuff
stuff
with
I
his
thought was
kid is heart-wrenching.
it is it's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I thought all of that was wonderful, and it's also like peppered in with kind of silly comic booky like fun stuff, and all of that's very wacky and out there, and it's very amusing. But like, god damn, does this issue of a lot of heart?
Yeah,
It like really nailed the
that's
ending.
what I'm getting at.
Coming into this, I was like, I love this book. Like, I don't know how this is gonna end. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see, and it nailed it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like it was with the uplifting place it got to. I didn't feel like it was too sappy. Like,
No,
it still
I didn't
felt
either.
in line with the tone of this. It didn't feel like it lost its teeth or anything. It
Mhm.
was almost more shocking that it was as feel good as it was ultimately, where it was like it turned back around. It was kind of edgy with its, I don't want to say wholesomeness, I guess, but like with its optimism. And then it
No, and
also,
I even really like just like in terms of like the sci-fi kind of silliness. I really love the kind of beautiful image near the end where it's like those cracks that are in the world are still there, but like there's like the Martian flowers growing in between the cracks, and it's like
yeah.
it's so good.
And then there's sort of an out to bring him back later.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely show up somewhere. I like that he's got like his own little kind of town that he hangs out in, where it's like it's almost like this one little town is fixed in the absolute universe, and it's happy, it's nice, it's protected, and we need him to show up and fix the other places in this world.
There are a lot of places where I'm not sure just how unreliable what I'm looking at is supposed to be, where I'm like, surely there's not actually supposed to be a Birdman named Uncle Sam. Like, literally.
That's I think the president of the United States.
Yeah, is that what that was supposed
I
to
hope
be? I hope
I
it's
hope
real.
that is the
I hope the
president. Yeah,
president is secretly actually a Birdman.
I'd love that. I wish that was the case in real life.
It's like Sam the Eagle. I would vote for Sam the Eagle. No, I wouldn't. Sam the Eagle's an idiot.
Aw, don't say that.
He is, though.
No, that stuff is great. I also love there's the bit where I forget. I think it's like the White Martian and Martian Manhunter are going back and forth, and John Jones just goes, "Ah, Martians, they only speak in metaphor. Everything they're talking about right now is metaphorical. It's not literally happening." That was really great too.
Yeah, that reminds me of a TNG episode. But then again, most things do. Uh,
That is true.
no, that's another one where I was like, okay, at some point I got to read all of this in rapid succession. But then, can I handle this whole book within like a couple of days? This is
Well,
one
reading
where
it, I
if you
I
did
do
a,
really want to like just plow through it all in one because I feel like it's a great
I
read.
just feel like my brain would explode.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I don't know, it's like a intravenous drip of like psychedelic imagery.
I love
It
that
just feels
word.
like
Yeah.
it'd
No,
be almost too much.
mhm. Maybe,
Like
but
it's great, but could you imagine if this had not been on our radar and somebody had requested or we picked it for Vault and we decided to read it 4 hours before a show, start to finish? We'd never looked at it before, and we decided to plow through it like we did like a Danger Street or something. Obviously, this is good and that's not, but like, Lord, I just,
uh, this second volume probably would be like, oh man, like I need another go through. First volume, I think I'd be fine
okay, that's fair.
because this one got way bigger and way more out there.
Because we didn't do that with the first volume. We were only in issue 3 by the time I started getting it and talking about it, if memory serves.
Yeah, I think you and Chris just did maybe the first 4 issues
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
together. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Highest marks. I wish I understood what was happening more, but that's also, kind of intentional.
Yeah, I'm excited because
You're supposed
that
to be
this
questioning
creative
reality with
team's
that.
doing another book at DC, and we still don't know what it is, but I'm very excited to see what they do next.
Probably not absolute.
No, I think it'll be part of that like next level.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I wonder if it'll look like this or if they'll intentionally try to mix up the look a little bit. If or if
Yeah,
it'll be like a situation like what's his name? The guy that did the female Hawkeye series, where then like everything he did after that kind of looked like that bug.
maybe I could see it going either way. Like it's got similar look, but maybe they'll do something completely different. I know one of the books we still don't know who the creative team is. Is that Shadow the Bat? Like maybe it could be that, and it would be
Oh,
very, very different in
oh,
that case.
I'd love this team on a Batman bug. I know you're tired of Batman books, but I would love that.
I mean, I will read whatever this team does next because I loved this book so much. So, like, if it's Batman, that's fine. Like, it'll be like a Dark Patterns thing. Like that is cool. But yeah,
It should be Ambush Bug. They would be perfect for Ambush Bug.
hell yeah,
Austin, before we get to some of your solo stuff, would you mind if we take like a 4 or 5 minute break and just
absolutely.
refill waters and stuff? Everybody, we'll call this the halfway point. It's probably about the halfway point. We're gonna take a quick break, come back, finish our singles, do cover of the week, and then our featured book. So look forward to the rest of the show, and thanks for being here with us. See you in just a little bit. And we're back.
Here we are now.
Are you not entertained?
I'm pretty entertained.
I find you very entertaining as well, Austin.
Oh, don't
So good job.
patronize me.
So Austin, I can't help it. It's you're just so easy to patronize. Austin, what other interesting things did you read over the last 3 weeks
Yeah.
to 1 month?
Well, Nicholas Bodo was asking about this one, so I'll knock it out first. And it was one of my favorite things I read this last week. It's Clayface Celebrity Dirt #1.
On your recommendation, I messaged my comic shop and got them to pull their last copy off the shelf for me. So I am gonna have that, but I didn't read it for this.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And so for that, I won't jump in it too much. But I mentioned this off camera to Cap. So that is a Clayface book, of course, and we're doing some synergy with that because we got a Clayface movie, and it's a
To
straight
the
horror
point,
book.
sorry, to the point where they're even going farther than Marvel does, and on all the advertising, they're just straight up mentioning the movie.
Yeah,
They're like in
like,
anticipation of the
Supergirl
film. Say again.
Supergirl bombed. They got it. Clayface the book. Go see Clayface the movie.
The difference is
But yeah.
Clayface only has to make like $40 million.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to get like 3 ticket sales, and it's fine. Yeah. So Clayface. It is so we go to Arkham Towers because I guess that's the new Arkham. I know that's in the Faction Batman. I don't know where that starts, but we find Clayface and he's in his cell, and he's like, "I am not insane anymore. You need to let me out." And they're like, "Yes, you are, Clayface. You are very insane because you think that you're Basil Carlo, and you're not. You are, I think it's Todd Russell, who is the 7th Clayface." And they're like, "There are 8 Clayfaces, and you're just one of them. You are not the Clayface. You are one of the many Clayfaces, the Clayfi that nobody remembers." And he's like, "No, God damn it, I'm Basil Carlo. All those other people are knockoffs of me." And he breaks out in a rage and gets out into Gotham and finds out that Basil Carlo is potentially a reformed actor at this point and not a Clayface. And now he doesn't know who he is and needs to figure that out, and is going to go on a rampage of debauchery, death, and destruction. And it looks wonderful. I'm very excited off of this first issue.
Yeah, that's a great premise. Nicholas Bodo says it does a good job of making fun of the convoluted lore of Clayface.
Yeah, no, I love. There's a bit, and I told Cap about this, or like part of it, but there's like a whole bit where he's like, like test, like do a test, like I am Basil Carlo, I can prove it, and they're like, well, all of you Clayfaces essentially have the same DNA, like it wouldn't prove anything. But we are pretty sure that you are not Basil Carlo and are in fact this other Clayface.
I wonder if the big reveal won't be he is just a piece of one of the Clayfaces, and like
Yeah,
he's
I'm not
he's
sure.
yet a ninth Clayface now. That's like
Mhm.
you can break one off and then they can become their own entity.
Yeah, where it's like not even somebody that was a human at some point and is just a piece of clay that is sentient.
That's sentient.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Or somehow, I don't know how you do this though. I was gonna say, or somehow an amalgamation of like two or three, where he's not one
Mhm.
Clayface. There's like multiple pieces from other Clayfaces that somehow came together to form this guy. That seems less likely. I don't even know how you do that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good horror imagery. Like there's a part where when he's escaping, he's like on the ceiling and he like rains down onto a guard, and there's like just little raindrops of clay that are like going into his eyes and stuff to kill him. Like it's pretty
Well,
crazy.
they got to go with a body horror bent because they want to tie it into the movie so hard as to mention the movie in their advertising.
Exactly. Exactly.
Senior Sticks $2
But
super chat.
oh,
Which Clayface is the definitive of them all? I mean, it kind of just depends on which one is your favorite, I guess. But I mean, I think the correct answer is Basil Carlo. But I grew up with Matt Hagen, so
I was
that
gonna
would
say,
be mine.
I want to say people just kind of have a amalgam kind of in their head of what Clayface is. I feel like that's kind of the definitive Clayface. My favorite Clayface has always been Preston Payne, the third one, which is the only one that's not like a big blob monster. His whole thing is he like touches you and you melt into clay.
Yeah.
But I really like him.
Well, for me, like a lot of my generation, my Clayface was the animated series Clayface, and
Yeah,
that thing had such a distinct look, which is why I'm really excited that the movie is going that way, and even went with his name. I can't help but geek out a little bit that they're calling him Matt Hagen. Makes me
yeah, and I
happy.
wondered what they would do with that, if it would be Carlo or if it would be Matt Hagen, because I know Flanagan, who like wrote the original draft of the script, like he was very much like this is based on Feet of Clay. So I wondered if they would go Matt Hagen just for that.
Really could have been either way, because I feel
Yeah,
like the definitive version now in most extra media is Basil Carlo. I mean, like Arkham did that. And of course, both of those versions are actors. So it would be really easy to
yeah,
do the exact same story from Feet of Clay, but just call him Basil Carlo.
yeah. No, and it would be easy to do what is suggested in the Arkham bio for Clayface, where it's like originally he was golden age Clayface, where he was just a serial killer, and then he got the chemicals and became a big clay creature. I also feel like that is kind of like an easy thing you can go to now.
Yeah, that's true. Chewbacca's Lover put in a $5 super chat and asked for John Ostrander's Clone Wars series. That's, I think, our first Star Wars on here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
So thanks for that. He says people say the CGI show is just a watered down version of those comics. People speak really highly of Ostrander Star Wars in general.
Yeah, Ostrander's always a solid writer.
Mm-hmm.
Senior Sticks also gives $2 and says, "What if this Clayface is maybe spoilers Batman?" I don't think that'll happen.
I don't see how with the horrific things it sounds like he's doing.
But that would be a good almost got him reveal.
I was gonna say this is not gonna be a Killer Croc situation.
There's some clay at him.
Is it amusing to you that the line that people think is the funniest line in all of Batman animated series is Batman talking? Like I think out of context,
Uh,
sometimes people kind of forget. Like I threw a rock at him. It's Batman saying that.
yeah. No, I mean yeah. I think Killer Croc does in fact throw a rock at him in Vendetta. So
Oh, okay. Well,
he went to personal
he's
experience.
very in character. You know, like the world's greatest
Yeah.
detective. It makes sense that he would be pretty good at acting. You know, if he's like spends enough time psychologically profiling you, he would know the really dumb crap you would say.
I want to think that Bruce was like kind of upset when they all reacted. Uh, you know, like, oh, that sucks. Like in his head, he was like, oh man, yeah, Croc really almost got me with that rock. Like that was rough. So he's like, I'll go with this, and none of them were impressed. So he's like, oh, I mean, that did kind of almost kill him more than your stupid bird thing, Penguin. Like what the hell was that?
Yeah, like yours was lame. Poison Ivy's with the pumpkins was kind of
The
lame.
pumpkins, yeah. You should
That's
get
not
really
great.
mad. You should be like, God damn it! Like
Two Face at least had a gigantic coin.
Joker's is still happening, and you're gonna like
It's
his more than
happening right
mine.
now. What else do you have, Austin?
Yeah. I can go off another horror thing. Blood of the Wolfman #1, which is the new Skybound Universal Monster book, which is being done by Williamson.
You've been excited about this for
And
months.
I've been excited about this for a long time. And every now and then, like I'll pick up a new Williamson book and be like, "Is this the one where I read it?" And I'm like, "You're phoning this in. You got like 18 books on the go."
Is
Uh,
this the one?
no, this is one of the best things I've read by him. It's wonderful. Uh,
Good.
this is so cool because this is just in no way that movie. Like it is an original story, but it's like he took the core of what that movie was getting at, boiled it down, and then just took those themes and put it into his own story. And it's really cool. It's a really neat father and son thing. And the beginning of this is our main character who is at a party. I think he's a college age student, and he's at this party, and of course he becomes the Wolf Man, and we find out that he's cursed. And he like massacres everyone at the party, and it's all done in first person, and it's really cool. Where it's like just people reacting, and then like the claws coming out and uh, just killing everybody there. And it's so just effective. It's really cool. And then we get a great shot where he turns and there's a mirror, and that's our first shot of the Wolfman. And then we're kind of dealing with the cops investigating what happened. And his father finds out that he was involved, and he's trying to protect him. And it's definitely going into that place of like, okay, somebody that you really care about did something bad. Like, do you turn them in, or do you like try to protect them and sweep them under the rug? And I'm really interested to see where that goes with that stuff. And the the whole thing is like that. The issue is like, well, something happened. I do not believe that you became a wolf and killed all these people. That is insane. And then the big like cliffhanger of this issue is that he coughs up an eyeball, and it was
Jeez.
really cool. Great first issue. Wonderful stuff.
Well, I'm glad you liked it because you were hyping that up real hard.
Oh, I was so excited,
Your
and I
expectations
was
were
not
kind
let
of
down.
were kind of high.
These Skybound Universal Monster books do not let me down, man. They're
Yeah,
great.
it sounds like they've all been good. I mean, I only read the one,
Yeah.
but I like the one I read.
I also just realized, did you read Supergirl Survive #2
Yes,
or? Uh, okay, I
I
just
guess
saw that on
I
here.
guess we both had that. Well, we can do that next.
Yeah, it's up to you. I can like end with that, or we can do that next.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Is that cool?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so I gotta talk about that cliffhanger for the first issue real quick, because
Yes.
when we had the cover for this solicited, give me a second. I went, okay, I was wrong. It was not a doomsday on the moon of Krypton like I was thinking when Krypton explodes and Kara takes baby Kal-El and is not able to get all the way to Earth. She just winds up on the moon. It's going to be a gang of Lobos? And I was like, well, the monster we saw doesn't look like a Lobo. So I don't know how that's going to work out. And then you open this up and we start dealing with this Lobo gang, but then we do the typical thing where we've moved forward and then we flash back to where we were at the end of the first issue. And we have a nondescript monster on the moon that is bony and might as well have been a doomsday, but was not a doomsday.
And you were pissed that it wasn't.
It's kind of weird that it wasn't. It really just should have been a doomsday, but okay.
I don't know that all those lanterns could easily kill a doomsday, so it had to be just that thing, I guess.
Yeah, but
It was
that's what it
weirdly
would take.
similar.
Like, yeah, it was really similar. It didn't seem like a big enough threat that you needed a whole core of lanterns from across the spectrums. I will say I do like, and maybe this is a surprising compliment. I like the way it suddenly turns into a Green Lantern book for a minute.
Yeah. No, we like really go with them for a bit. in this issue,
Like
which I
that
was really surprised
That
by.
was fun. Just the flavor of it is so different. We're doing all this cosmic stuff because she's not going to make it to Earth right away, and so you might as well really explore like the pantheon of cosmic, of like powerful cosmic entities. And I like that there's sort of a distinction between where you'd be when Superman has grown up, like in the universe versus where you might be when Krypton explodes. So you've got a core of not just Green Lanterns, but the whole spectrum, and like Op and Sur is still there. All of that was really good.
Yeah, no, I thought everything in this issue was pretty good. The thing I kind of struggled with was structure. I didn't really like how
Yeah,
we like started forward, jumped back, went forward, jumped back. I didn't really appreciate that while reading this. I kind of wish we just did it more just in the
linearly.
timeline. And
Well, and I'm a stickler. You have to win me over on that
yeah,
kind of nonlinear storytelling, and I'm with you. This didn't. I'm not sure why it had to be done that way.
well, my big thing is like I'm kind of lost on what's happening where she's getting her hair cut and all that stuff. Where I'm like, I'm not settled into where she is or like why that's happening in the moment, and I don't feel like I ultimately am by the end of the issue either. So I would say that's kind of my big issue with my big complaint with this issue is structure. But outside of that, like I liked the stuff in the issue. Like I didn't really have any problems with that.
I We handled Lobo a little bit more like I was kind of hoping we would do him in the movie. I like I appreciate that he is ambiguous, but like kind of a threat at the start. Like you're not Supergirl can't full on trust him. I don't know if there's precedent for he's got like a gang of like other people that look like Lobo that all call themselves something adjacent to Lobo. It's like the Flabeic brothers in Spawn, where you have like Violator and Vacillator and Victimite. Like, why
We
are we
also
doing
don't really
that with
do that with
Lobo?
the lanterns, though. I don't think, do we? Where it's like all of the spectrum are like a team together.
I
Or
was
am I wrong about
fuzzy
that?
on that, where I thought maybe because I've not read enough of Jeff
That's
Johns'
my
Green
issue. I'm not
Lantern.
enough of a Green Lantern guy.
I thought maybe there was precedent for if you go back far enough, they used to be all joined and they splintered off at some point. But I don't know. But
That could
also,
be.
it is an Elseworlds. They can like mix up anything they want to.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, like it's an Elseworld, so we're kind of going on to different characters, and it's not just oh, Supergirl is different, but everything else is the exact same. Like,
It's a real different Krypton than we've had
yeah,
before.
like everything's a little different. Was kind of what I was thinking.
So like when I asked that, I'm not even complaining about it. I was just wondering, do I know little enough about Lobo that I didn't know about this? Like, is this a thing or did we
One
make it up for
Lobo, like
this?
Lobo massacres his whole planet, and then I know
Yeah,
in Williamson's run of Superman, there's like a gang of people from his planet that were before Lobo, but I don't think they're called Lobos. And Superman and Lobo have to team up to fight them.
okay. But yeah, there's kind of a fun Western vibe to this
Yeah,
issue. I don't know. I don't know
yes,
what I
they're
think about.
cowboy Lobos.
Yes, that's true. Well, and you get that with hats. I don't
Mhm.
know how I feel about the cliffhanger at the end yet.
Well, I got like halfway through and I was like, "Oh, we introduced the lanterns here because we're gonna do the thing Cap loves,"
And then we did
and
not
then
do
not
that.
really, but like
We sort of did.
kind of, but like yeah, different.
Um, I assume we're making. I mean, you've been spoiling all the other endings. You want to just spoiler warning and then talk about that?
Yeah, it's up to you.
Is anybody gonna care? I But at the end of this issue, she winds up with is it an indigo ring?
I think it was the blue lantern
Yeah,
ring.
is that indigo?
No, isn't indigo more like the like purple?
I don't think we have blue lanterns. I think it's indigo, and I think
Is it?
it's
Okay.
yeah. One is indigo, and the other one is star sapphires. That's the purple one.
Oh, okay. I
So
was thinking it was just that.
I'm pretty sure the
Okay.
bluish one is the indigo one. But anyway, um, look, I know more than Austin about something. Um,
I don't know anything about colors. I know red, green, and that's about it.
I just mean what they call them with the spectrum. I I wonder if we're doing that with this because we're making a point of this Supergirl as like really embracing uh uh the protector thing.
One, I'm
We're
just
like
like I don't know
nurturing
enough about that stuff. I
matriarch.
don't know what the blue lantern ring is or the indigo lantern, like what their emotion is.
I forget what exactly it is, but I think it's along those lines.
Because it's definitely, yeah, she's definitely not like a rage Supergirl. She's very much
Uh-uh.
like a afraid, trying to do her best. Yeah, stuck with this baby.
Yeah, it's compassion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that makes
So
sense
that's
with
probably
what we're
where they're
doing with
going with
her.
that.
Yeah,
And I could also see the very same Supergirl eventually getting to a rage place, maybe, I guess, but maybe not because
yeah. I don't see this version
you're
getting there.
protecting um Kal-El for a long time. Your priorities would be so different. You would kind of live with putting your own feelings aside, for a long time. Because I was gonna say she
Yeah,
hasn't even had time to feel anything about it yet, which is true. But you'd have such a different perspective if you weren't alone the whole time, and then especially if your whole reason for living was to keep this person safe. And it's funny that
Robert.
kind of the what if statement for this book is we let Supergirl do the thing she was tasked to do.
That is true. Robert says that blue, indigo, and violet are each their own lanterns, and blue is hope. I would say she's probably blue then,
Oh, maybe so. It
which
works either
also
way, though. I
makes
didn't
sense.
think
Yeah,
there
it
was
works
a
either way.
Blue Lantern. See, okay, so I know more than Austin, but less than Robert.
Hey, I was like, I'm pretty sure blue lanterns are a thing. This She's clearly
Oh,
blue at the end of this.
okay. Well,
I don't know about the other crap,
I
but I
thought it
know that
was Indigo. I don't even know.
one.
Anyway,
Next up, I've got Iron Man number 7, which is mostly Tony and Rhodey talking, and Tony's built this crew from the end of 5, and they build the scary technology that makes giant tech kraken, and Rhodey's very pissy about it, and then they gotta fight it. And it was pretty good. The weirdest thing in this issue is that there's a point where we're talking about Rhodey and Tony's history, and we're showing flashbacks, and they show the original War Machine with like classic Iron Man, like the original, not original Iron Man outfit, but you know what I mean, like the
yeah,
kind of classic red and gold. And he's got like veins that are popping out on his armor, and I feel like if your veins are popping out on your Iron Man armor, you've got an issue, man.
yeah. How's that even possible?
I don't know. You should get that looked at. Next up, I've got the highly delayed Batman Green Arrow: The Question, Arcadia number 4,
Oh yeah,
which ended okay, which is unfortunate because the rest of that book I thought was really great,
yeah.
and then it kind of missteps the final issue, not in like
Is
a
it
bad
is
way,
it
but just in
rushed
a
or just kind of a lame ending or
yeah. I think part of it is that the last issue is so just Batman focused, where I feel like the other two kind of get lost in the shuffle, whereas I think the first 3 issues have a better balance of them, especially the question, who is my favorite part of this book, and he barely gets anything to do in the last issue. So that was unfortunate, but it was fine. I think overall that book's pretty good. Next up, I've got Daredevil number 4, which has him almost be killed by the Omen until he is saved by a mysterious Daredevil villain who I won't spoil, but he comes in, and yeah, we're just kind of pushing that stuff along with Omen.
Is that book getting
And
enough done issue to issue? I've got those. I'm just not caught up.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I like with that first issue, like I don't think it's groundbreaking or anything like brilliant or anything, but like it's pretty good. I think each issue's solid. Oh, the big thing with 4 is we keep flashing back to Matt when he was younger, and all that stuff is really good.
Oh, good.
We get stuff with him and his father, and then with the priest, and then with Stick, and all of that is really nice. Next up, I've got Fury of Firestorm number 4, which is dealing with some backstory stuff and kind of setting it up for the climax. So it is definitely one of those stepping stone issues where it is just mostly talking and getting things in places. But I still really love that book. I think it's really good. And my last two are my other Skybound things. I've got Mask number 2, which, unlike the first issue, I did have some like, oh, I have no idea who these characters are, but like this action's fine. And then it had an ending that really shocked me, where it was like, oh, here's these like main people we're following in this issue, and then they potentially die, and I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. That's pretty crazy. But I do hope that moving forward, I do have more of that first issue thing where it's like really bringing me into this mask stuff, because I have no idea about any of it.
Yeah, because that's what I thought Transformers did so well. I mean, even though I at least
Yeah,
had
no,
some
exactly.
familiarity with that product, I felt like anybody could start with number 1 and it's introduction to that world.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And
And
you
then
have to do
last
that
up,
with Mask. No one knows what that is. A-
nobody knows what mask is.
And
Yeah.
if you did, you're 47 to 50.
Hmm. And like almost dead.
I'm
My
just
last
saying that's a
book.
book that needed to come out 15 years ago if you're going to do that. Like,
Yeah, no, exactly. And then last up, I've got GI Joe number 24, which was wrapping up the last arc, which was dealing with this kind of scarecrow kind of villain who had ghost tech,
oh, I'm
and
sorry.
all of that was
Which book was it?
hmm? Oh, GI Joe number 24, issue 24.
Sorry, I was reading comments
And
and I missed it.
no, it's okay. Yeah, it was dealing with this kind of scarecrowy kind of villain through this last arc, and all that was really cool. And it's got a big cliffhanger where I was kind of surprised that we're dealing with this thing, because basically, I think like around like issue 10 or something, we revealed that the person who runs GI Joe is not actually that character, but somebody else in disguise. And this is where we finally pay off. Like, oh, somebody finds out about it, and now it's got like a big next issue's double sized. Like, it's gonna
Oh,
get crazy.
but it was not a
And
robot in disguise.
it is not. No, it is a character, kind of like Chameleon in Spider-Man, like that kind of a thing.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and I've been really excited to see how they eventually pay that off. And yeah, Cobra Commander's always great. He pops in for a second and is like setting up like a female character under him instead of Destro, and I'm interested to
Ooh,
see where that goes.
is she snake themed?
Yeah, I mean, she's got like their kind of snake themed soldier outfit,
Oh, cool.
but he's like, I'm gonna give you an upgrade, so I'm excited to see what that's about.
I may eventually try to read through all of that because I like what little I've read of that. And the Cobra Commander mini is so good.
Yeah, it's great. And it follows in the long tradition of Skybound GI Joe, where every single letters page has somebody say, "When are we gonna get Snake Eyes? God damn it!" To which they always respond, "Who?"
That's awesome.
And
That's so funny.
beautiful.
They haven't done Snake Eyes at all yet.
No, they've done the other ninja stuff, so it's like at some point they're gonna do it.
You know what they're
But
gonna do? They're gonna do it at the same time as they do Dinobots.
exactly, I mean, that character that's like Chameleon is also heavily tied to Snake Eyes' backstory, so
Oh, okay.
it could be.
Um, Goodness, we've got too many things to talk about tonight.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. I will blow through mine as fast as possible. I thought about going back and forth, and then I realized I had a bigger stack than you, so I don't know if that would make any sense. But let me do this as lickety split as I can. Some of this stuff I could talk about longer than I'm probably going to because we're already at 2:15 and we still got our featured book to do and stuff. So I'll be as quick as I can. And also some of this will be stuff that Austin's going to read next week. And I don't want to. I mean, I know he doesn't care about spoilers, but I'm not going to say too much since he hasn't read some of this stuff. Superman 40 is the end of the first Superboy Prime arc, which is called Prime Time. And Austin, this has already been like unabashedly silly and crazy and out there with all of the meta stuff. But he takes it to the nines, and I feel like I should look at some of this and kind of shake my head and roll my eyes at it. It's so clever and it's so thoughtfully done that I'm not doing that, and I'm kind of loving it. And as I was reading this, I kept taking pictures of panels and sending them to Jason because I couldn't believe all the commentary that he was doing about the history of mainstream comics, but also like recently what comics have been like. Superboy is fighting Manchester Black, and both of them have this meta thing where they know that they're in comic books. Manchester Black spends the whole issue wearing a Death of Superman t-shirt, and he wants to steal Superboy's knowledge of the whole DC universe so that he can use it for his own ends. And at some point, somehow, he manages to get this, suck Superboy Prime into the very issue that you're reading. And
Oh
then
my god.
later on in the comic book shop that Superboy works at, one of the guys he works with is holding this issue, and then Manchester Black, or maybe Superboy, I forget, punches through the issue and comes out into the comic book shop.
He hit him with the Superboy Prime Punch.
Yeah, exactly. Through the comic book.
What issue number is that? Sorry, I missed it.
40.
Oh, I read Supergirl 15, and the end of that says it ties into 40.
Oh,
is there something about
I wonder how.
like Sun Force or Super Force or something like that in that book? Okay,
not that I remember anyway.
It just hit me, yeah, because I read that, and the end of that book is she's like, I'm gonna, really live up to Clark's legacy. I'm gonna become, basically Superman, and she's got her Matrix Supergirl like symbiote suit, and it changes into basically just a female Superman suit where it's got the trunks, and then she's like, and I'm gonna put my team together, and it's like to be continued in Superman 40, and that just hit me.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah,
because like she's not in this. It does sound like they're both trying to fill Superman's shoes in different ways. And I do think
could just be that.
And I do think I should say that Superboy's got a good arc by the end of this of realizing the ways in which he's not measuring up to Superman. But just like the kind of exploration and meditation on the both the negative and positive sides of buying and collecting comics right now is like really fun and kind of speaks near and dear to me. And some of it gets a little sappy, but I don't mind it. Like there's a whole speech that he has at the end about why Wednesdays at the comic shop are wonderful. And that like that like you go into the shop and it's one of the only things that's still on a weekly basis. Like you might find something brilliant in Diamonds in the Rough, and that was a real cute scene. But Manchester Black has this whole thing toward the beginning about how like comics are dead and over now, and like we're talking about just directly the industry, and it's pretty great. He says
Manchester Black's like, God damn it, Williamson's writing everything right now. And he's at more than one company. You can't do that.
But this kind of spoke to me. He says comics are dying just as dead as you're going to be, and Superboy responds with, "I prefer to think of them as surviving."
That's good.
And like Williamson just kind of comes through the book and states like how he feels about the industry right now, and like it doesn't feel like he's speaking through the characters, but it also feels like they have their own voice. Like he finds the balance with that really well, and it's just
Doesn't feel like he's like attacking a straw man or something.
mm-mm. And for my money, it felt like the right kind of melodrama. Like in a vacuum, a lot of this dialogue reads really hacky and terrible, and it's because of the satire that he's doing. Superboy also, I'm saying too much about this. Superboy beats Manchester Black with continuity. That's all I'll say. But it's great. Like
Is he
literally.
like, you only exist to comment on characters that are now owned by DC?
No, he hits him with like a mind blast of all the retcons, and it like makes him freak out and lose his mind. Where like he can't handle like all the crises and all of that stuff. And there's a part where he just flings a short box at him.
Beautiful.
Or no, maybe it's a long box. But that was weird because he throws this long box and then all these comics fly all over the place like he's not taking care of the comics. And then Manchester Black rips a comic apart, and then Superboy's pissed because he ripped up a comic. I'm like, you just threw a bunch at him. Like those aren't going to be in good shape now.
They're protected.
My only real complaint about how the meta thing is handled is the complaint I've had through all of this so far, which is, and I know I'm a broken record, but Superboy works at a comic book shop that sells comics about the characters that are in the world they live in, and with some covers, like this one, that are in that world, and it's confusing, and it kind of breaks my brain. And like, Superboy comes from ostensibly our universe, but also inside of their universe, some of the same comics are published that are DC comics. It just doesn't make any sense. I can't get my head around
you also
it.
couldn't have that joke of him being pulled into his own book in the world without that.
No, yeah, like it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that was a fun bit. I don't really understand what's happening with it. So like,
Yeah.
it's a little messy.
Mhm. No, that's fair.
But the
I
satire
really need to
is
catch up on that. I'm like
so
halfway
well
through
handled.
being caught up on Williamson Superman.
The next thing I'll bring up also came out this week. I'm kind of working my way backwards here, but this is Ninja Turtles number 20. And this is the big 300th issue special. So they did that thing where you count up all of the issues that have ever been just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you get to 300, and this is the 300th issue. So it's all of the Mirage stuff plus all the IDW stuff. And Waltz and Eastman came back to do the main story, which is interesting because it's furthering the narrative a lot that we've been doing with the current writer, whose name is escaping me right now, but the guy who did the new Superman of China, who's a writer I like a lot. But it's kind of like, I hope he didn't feel shafted because they're doing like some kind of major plot points in the middle of his arc. But like Waltz has not been on this book for a long time. It's kind of odd that they did that. But anyway, this is kind of in two halves, where you have, it's an oversized issue, and so you get a full page count, I think, for what would have been issue 20, that is kind of opening up the floodgates for the afterlife, where any character that has died has the potential to come back, which could be kind of sticky, where you get into that problem of, okay, nobody stays dead, and deaths don't matter anymore. But I think the stakes are set up decently well in that you've got a couple of gods from the pantheon that, like I mentioned last time, are upset with Splinter's wife for coming back and staying on Earth, and she's kind of messed up the afterlife because now it's like a revolving door and it's possible for people to leave, and they're very upset about that. But she has to like kind of clean up her mess before she can go back. It's a whole thing she has to do, and so there's this artifact that allows people to just go find their loved ones and bring them through now that this kind of gate is open. And so for a split second, um, Casey Jones does it with his mom, and then these gods kind of force him to put her back. But then he gets real mad that or not the guy. I think it's Splinter that comes in and stops it. And now that I'm thinking about it, and then Casey Jones gets real mad at Raphael for some reason when he's just standing there and like has nothing to do with his not getting his mom back. And there's been this kind of looming thing where Splinter has seen the future and knows how various characters are supposed to kill his sons, and Casey Jones is supposed to be the person that kills Raphael. And so there's this question now as to whether that's the reason he's going to try to kill Raphael. And I'm like, Raphael didn't do anything. I don't understand why that. Clearly, that's a red herring, but it's a really bad one. Um, See, I was honestly actually a little lukewarm on it. Just because I'm I'm a little hesitant with the whole okay, now anybody can come back from the dead thing. But it's pretty clear that at some point they're gonna cut the gate off, and then it's not like they'll have an excuse to bring anybody back at that point, so it's kind of temporary. But I didn't know that's where we were going with that whole thing, where it was now we can bring random characters back, and I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah.
fine, but I'm not on the same high I was with it right before that. And then the second half of this is not really much of a story at all. It's kind of just your traditional like reunion to um to kind of clap our hands about the history of Ninja Turtles. And so it's just Renee, the time traveler. That's why she's on this cover. Goes through like all the eras of Ninja Turtles, and the art's really cool. But like, there's no story to speak of. It's just and then this period of Turtles happened, and it's real broad. Where it's like, here's the Mirage era, and then here's that weird Image era, and then here's the extension of the Mirage era that's in continuity with that original Mirage era. And then and then like the Turtles Adventures stuff is in there too. And then here's the IDW era. So that's really only there for art, and it's pretty and it's fun to look at. So that's fine. I ended up with this version variant with Renee in the sewer looking at the turtles right after they're born, which is kind of fun. And I got that one because I bought a blind bag, Austin. I never do that, but it was the same price
Oh no.
as the regular cover, and I was like, well, I'll take a chance that I end up with kind of a rare or special cover. And I looked through the covers and I thought most of them looked pretty good, so I wasn't going to be too upset with whichever one I ended up with. This one is fine. I actually hilariously don't like it as well as the Freddie Williams A cover. And there's a part of me that kind of wants to buy it again. It was like a $7 book, so I'm probably not gonna buy it again. Uh, but this one will also probably go up a little in value.
Yeah.
So it was worth taking the risk on that. And also, the bag it comes in is a cool Eastman and Laird cover. So it was kind of worth it
That's
just to
cool.
have that bag.
And it's got the pineapple background of the movie Blu-rays.
That is true. Okay. Oh my God, Austin. It's just too many. It's just too many things to talk about. I'm looking at the stack. I'm like, I don't want to go through all of this. Some of this I'll do faster. Absolute Superman 21 is the end of the big Black Adam arc, and I think this ends kind of spectacularly well, actually. I really like this. The gigantic
Oh, cool.
fight that you get with Superman wielding various superheroes, weapons, fighting Black Adam, and we kind of use Black Adam as a cool kind of dark mirror for Superman, and we really get at the core of what his values and ideology are. He is afraid he's not going to make it through this fight, and so he leaves Lois a list of all of the people that he is regularly trying to help, and it's like this absurdly long list. With the like some of the most mundane things you can think of, like not quite to rescuing cats out of trees, but really close. And I thought that was really heartwarming. I didn't see how this character could possibly have the time to regularly help all the people he has on his Santa Claus list. When you look at all the things he's been doing through this book, I'm like, this character has no downtime. I don't know how he's doing any of this.
Yeah, because I think you missed the first like what issue or two. Oh no, because you had the Parasite stuff beforehand.
Yeah, I
which
haven't
was
read that
dealing with
stuff
this.
yet.
So you haven't read that stuff, but that was like, it's almost like Nightfall. Like he has no downtime. It's like you stop, like he hears somebody's in pain, he goes deals with that, and then is immediately after the next thing. And there's
Yeah.
this bit
So
where
this isn't a
Hawkman's trying.
reveal. We knew he was doing this.
No, exactly. There's a bit where he's fighting Hawkman, and Hawkman's just like, oh, I'm gonna lecture you, Superman. And like while he's talking, Superman is like periodically leaving to do that and help people, and Hawkman's just like, "Can you please stop? Like
That's
I'm
really
I'm
funny.
trying to lecture you about how you can't be good in this world. Stop doing that."
Well, that makes a lot of sense because Hawkman is in this issue, kind of grumbling about it.
Yeah, no, he's kind of stuck around since then, and I really like his dynamic with Superman.
Uh, but yeah, that's one of the better issues of this I've read so far. I mean, I obviously have missed a couple of arcs, kind of like Wonder Woman. And then Absolute Batman 22. I read this a few days ago, so I'll be brief. But this gets into the backstory of this version of Harley Quinn, and how and reveals the way in which she's connected to the Joker, which I figured would just be a thing that happens way later, that they were completely disconnected characters. I don't know if you've heard the reveal yet, Austin, but they're not.
No.
They're very connected before this. I won't spoil it here because it's a really, really major reveal.
I assumed that was just part of the like Joker's kind of in that traditional Batman place Batman's more like street level, and I think I mentioned it to you when we first introduced the Robins. I thought we were going to do the Robins as Joker's wards because Batman is Harley, so I thought it would be completely flipped. So I'm surprised to hear that she is connected to Joker.
No, and they get kind of on the outs in this issue.
Oh,
She
okay.
she and Batman. But yeah, I actually like her backstory a lot. It's real creepy and messed up, like everything else in this book. The relationship that she has with her mother. I like where the Harley Quinn thing comes in the first place, where he comes up with a good way for her to be connected with the Joker, and the like Harlequin thing being also disconnected from that, and it really works. But yeah, it's a real sad issue. And I like her a lot more after that issue. Where before that I thought and I'm not even complaining that we didn't get that backstory until now, because everything adds up a lot better after you get that, and so it's kind of cool that it all works and makes sense. You just gotta wait for a minute. But
Mhm.
I kind of thought the sort of urban terrorist thing we were doing with her was odd, and she felt like a Walking Dead character. But I like her a lot more after that issue. And then, okay, I'm gonna talk about these together. So
Oh,
we got my two Power Rangers books, two now. We're gonna have that Tommy book soon also, which does not look great, but I'll give it a shot like I did these. So we've got Power Rangers Unlimited #1 and the new Mighty Morphin #2. As you might recall, I thought the first issue of this was just dreadful, and I only gave it another go because they brought back the mainline Mighty Morphin title, and I want to give it a chance. But
and it was
oh
dreadful.
god, it's it's just the worst. It remains just the worst thing ever. terrible. Yeah, the second issue is just as bad as the first. In fact, it might be worse. When we get to the end, and I'll just spoil this. I don't know who's gonna care, but yeah, spoilers for this book. It's weird because it kind of reads like a 2-issue arc. Um, you get to the end of this and you finally figure out what Rita Rabiosa is and where she's from, and we're doing this multiversal stuff, which is not new for Power Rangers, of course. Like Shattered Grid was multiverse, but it seems like that's the focus of all of what they're doing, because both of these are all about multiverse. Almost like the one thing we had from the previous run, the previous continuity, was a Shattered Grid, and so we've got to just make everything about a bunch of different dimensions. I Which just kind of reads a little bit lame, especially with this. So she is mad because the Rangers in her universe killed her kid. And so she has to find Rangers from some other universe that have a kid and kill it. And that's her villain plot. It's a really dumb plot. I'm sorry. It's not good. And so, especially because they made it Min, which is Trainee's kid from Once and Always. So the reason she's in, I would say our universe, the universe in this book, is she knows that Trainee has this kid and she's got to go kill that kid. And I'm like, Bennett, you're so out of ideas. You're doing like the typical 80s sequel thing where all we can think of is to like put a little kid in danger. We gotta have a baby and put the baby in danger. It's the only thing we can think of to do. Everybody's still talking way out of character. Everybody's got the wrong kinds of cheesy dialogue. I know it's Power Rangers. It's the wrong kind of cheesy. It's cringy even if you're a Power Rangers person. And I still don't like the art in this book. By comparison, so I don't know if I'm giving this another issue or not. I really should not keep giving this money. It's dreadful. Power Rangers Unlimited at least looks great. The art in this book is fantastic. It's going back to what the Boom books used to look like, where it's just nice and flashy. I got to pop this open and go, yeah, but full page Zed spread just right out the gate. Fantastic. Unfortunately, we kill him off at the end of the issue, but at least he looks great and gets to do some cool stuff. Well, not even cool stuff. He's kind of lame, honestly, but he at least looks really good. So, the premise of this book is... Give me a second. Make everybody happy. That's the book. It's Make Everybody Happy, the Power Rangers book. We have, once again, Trini. We're obsessed with Trini right now for some reason. She is an Unlimited Ranger. There's actually a whole team of these, apparently. We say that she died like she does in Once and Always. We keep going back to that, too. In our universe. And so we pulled her out of the timeline, and we now have her dimension hopping to help Rangers in different timelines, and like pull Rangers from different timelines to help her in the timeline she's currently in, I guess. I don't know
So she's
if...
Bo Peep in New Toy Story?
Basically, I don't know if somehow she knows she's supposed to die and got pulled out just before that happened, or if she died and was resurrected and then was... I don't really know what's happening, but she knows she's supposed to be dead somehow. Maybe that will be revealed later, I don't know, but it's all just an excuse to bring in any Ranger from any team we want to, and so that's fun with all of the different Rangers that we throw together in different fight sequences throughout this, and fighting like different sets of foot soldiers. Like, it's a lot of fun eye candy if you're a Ranger fan. But the problem with it, of course, is nobody gets anything to do. Like, they're all cameos. Like, it's Trini's book and then everybody's a cameo. So, like, if you're a Dino Thunder fan and you get to see Trent, the White Ranger there, I mean, that's fun, but it's Paige. Like, he kicks a couple things, and then we move on to the next random group of Rangers we bring in. And it feels like what we did with a lot of reunions in the shows, where we technically have that character there, but it's just a suit actor wearing a helmet. Except like this is a comic book. You could have the actual character doing something, but
Yeah,
but
they exist.
but this is like they have the budget of the TV show. It's very odd. And then like I said, we get to the end and we kill Zed off very quickly, kind of unceremoniously. Although it's kind of fun that his helmet breaks and you see his one of his eyeballs behind the helmet because that's kind of unusual. And then there's oh yeah, and then there's a big reveal at the end that is not surprising at all who that's going to be. And I don't like the ways in which these two books are talking to each other because I don't like the other book. This I would keep buying at least for the art. Like even if I get to where I'm not liking the story, it will be fun enough in a collecting sense. So I mean, I've at least got one I'm willing to buy, but that's the highest praise I can give it. Is it looks really good. That's Kenny Porter, who I'm not familiar with, but his art is quite good. So yeah, that's the best I can say about that. Austin, I have Sonic X Godzilla. This is unprecedented. I'm going to review a Godzilla book that you didn't read. It's amazing.
That's true. It never happens.
I'm not going to say what?
There's a lot of hesitation.
No, not at all. I'm just catching my breath.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like, oh, this sucks.
No, this is fun. I'm not gonna. What I was gonna say is, I'm not gonna say like you should or shouldn't get this, Austin. Because you'd probably sort of like Power Rangers, like you probably appreciate this for the art at least. But it doesn't get a ton done in the first issue. It's real setup-y. But the first thing I should say is tonally, it leans very, very heavily into the kind of classic, all ages Sonic comics, which I really like about it. That it just kind of shows Godzilla characters in that art style and in that flavor of like an Ian Flynn Sonic comic. It's not Flynn doing it, surprisingly, but it reads like him. It's Nick Marino with art by Jack Lawrence, so a team I'm not familiar with, but the art in it is very familiar. It's what you expect from classic Sonic comics. I like it quite a bit better than, than the DC stuff, because that's trying to kind of mesh both styles and they don't blend together real well. This is just picking one. This just goes, it's a Sonic comic, but Godzilla shows up. But I really like that about it. I say Godzilla shows up. He will. He does it in the first issue. The first issue is Sonic has been fighting Eggman, and then they come up upon, all of a sudden, a big fight between Mothra and Mechagodzilla. And they're just dealing with that, and Eggman is trying to see if he can exploit that somehow, and wishes he could take credit for Mechagodzilla, and he's like really impressed with the technology and trying to figure out everything he can about it, and seeing if he can somehow like genetically duplicate Mothra. Like he's looking at these things going, these would be great for my plans. He's just kind of floating around them, and then Mothra, while they're fighting, drops some of her like glitter stuff, and then it messes up the Tails' airplane. And then the cliffhanger, I'll just spoil this, is they're spinning out, and that's it. And like to be continued.
That's maybe like a monster's like gonna get them.
Yeah,
no,
you would have thought we'd have like a reveal of like a third monster or something.
That's
no,
weird.
like
Godzilla is not in that, but Mechagodzilla is. That's strange.
My guess is it's so that we can do a giant metal Sonic. I'd be shocked if we didn't do a giant metal Sonic. But yeah, it's weird that you have him but not, and I don't know why he's there and who's controlling him or anything. But
just have Eggman create Mechagodzilla. Call it like Egg Godzilla.
I mean, that would have been fine, but they did not do that. But it's pretty. It's just a Sonic comic with Godzilla characters. And then I also got, speaking of Sonic, the Sonic 35th anniversary special. And what I have decided about the IDW Sonic comics is that, at least for what I've read so far, for my money, I've not read everything, but for my money, the best ones and the ones most worth buying are these oversized specials for anniversaries. They're all really good, the ones I've read. The 30th anniversary comic is like the only Sonic comic anybody needs to read. Like, if you never read any other Sonic comic, read that one. It's got damn near everything. And it's like, it's oversized. It's like an $8 comic. It's got like 40 or 50 pages. It's one story. It doesn't do we've got to have backup features, nothing. Like, it's just one big long story that's got every
That's cool.
character that you've ever loved, or at least a lot of the major characters you've ever loved in Sonic. Then they did a Tails one for the Tails 30th anniversary. I think they might have done a Knuckles one. I think they might have done an Amy one. And now we've got one for the 35th. It's crazy that's been 5 years. But I bought that for Freddie back when it came out. He adored it. He read it like 15 times. And I finally looked at it myself like a year ago, and it's like one of my favorite single issues in comics now. It's so freaking good. This is not quite up to that quality, but it's close. This is also really quite great. And I've got a bias because it brings in all of the extra characters from Sonic Mania, which makes me very happy. This feels like kind of a Sonic Mania reunion special, because right in the middle you get Ray and Mighty, and then right after that they bring in Fang the Sniper and Bean the Dynamite, and just characters I like. So that was all kind of exciting. But it's Eggman getting his hands on this like plant MacGuffin thing that he thinks he can use. It's like this little ball that's got like a plant thing in it, and he thinks he can use it because it's supposed to have like unlimited power, to power Metal Sonic, because these things always have to bring in Metal Sonic, which is fine because he's my favorite, and and all of his other stuff. And so there's this like ticking time bomb through a lot of the issue, where there's this progress bar on Metal Sonic, and once it gets to 100, he's going to come out and attack everybody. And I don't know, it's just a fun Sonic romp. There's this great joke at the beginning where they get Knuckles, and they're he just left Angel Island, and Tails is like, I'm sorry you had to leave Angel Island and not protect your Master Emerald. And he's like, no, that's okay. I hid it. And then they show, because Knuckles is always, I've talked about this recently, terrible at hiding the Master Emerald. I didn't realize this was like an ongoing joke with these, but it is. And so they show, there's this panel where they show how he hid it, and he just put it in a gazebo in plain sight, and Tails just goes, I'm pretty sure it's more visible now. It was really funny. But anyway, that was wonderful. If you like Sonic at all, you should get that. It was great. No particular order. Batgirl 21 is the best issue of this I've read. This was great. And that's high praise because, as I've always said, I buy these for the covers, and very often these are so wordy I kind of just skim them. Batgirl is fighting, or I can't even really say fighting. Her mind has been invaded by, I gotta remember the name of this villain. This really creepy villain with flowers all over his face. Who is Dr. Forget-Me-Not. Have you ever heard of Dr. Forget-Me-Not? This one's new to me.
Yeah. No, I don't recognize that name.
Well, he comes into Batgirl's head, and I can't even remember if I read the issue that set all this up, but this is pretty easy to just come right into. I gotta find something on my desk just to throw across the room now.
Just in the moment, I was like, I feel like throwing this. I think that'd be amusing. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So this is like a detective story where Batgirl has to go through her own memories to find the killer, the person that her subconscious knows killed this girl that Batgirl has met before, but for some mysterious reason cannot remember very well. And everyone, like, there are members on her team, because this has been kind of a team book of, like, former League of Assassins characters and stuff. There are a couple of other characters on her team that have met this girl before, but can't remember her very well. So there's this whole mystery about that. and she's going back through the recesses of her mind and various events and really putting things together kind of like Batman would. And I like trying to figure out motives of various characters and like axing uh, certain characters that can't possibly be suspects. And it turns out that Cassandra Cain is a decent detective, which, makes sense because she's worked with both Barbara Gordon and Batman quite a bit. But you don't get to see her do a lot of detective work, at least in this book we haven't. Uh, and it's kind of creepy, and then the big reveal at the end of this is not surprising, but it's intriguing enough if it's handled well. Like I kind of figured, I won't say what it is. I kind of figured that's where it was going. You get the answer to that mystery, and it's like okay, like of course that's what it is, but it could be really cool. And then this cover is just spectacular because they always are. But that one especially is really neat. Where it's like her it's like a smaller version of her coming out of her own mask with a bunch of flowers. It's cool. Uh,
That is cool.
She Spawn 3 is the weakest of these so far. It's okay, but first of all, Gail Simone. I know I'm still talking about She Spawn. Nobody cares. Gail Simone is soapboxing a little too much about a couple of things with this book. She's going on a little bit too much, I think, just personally, about some of the kind of like current social issues she's unhappy with versus where we were in the 90s and like how much worse things have gotten. I do like with technology and stuff that she's kind of looking at both the positive and negative ends of the spectrum of like here's what we've gained, here's what we've lost. But on the social side, she gets a little bit too soapboxy for my taste. But the thing that she gets way too soapboxy about is
Oh
the
no.
I I how do I want to put it? Is the wonderful uh creation of Image Comics and how much better it is than all of the other comics companies. And it is, and I kid you not, Image the comic company. We don't name it by name, but we don't have to because we see comic books with the Image logo on them. Still, we're still doing that. I complained about that with the first issue. We go into another store, and Jessica gives young Al Simmons in 1992 $20 to go buy comic books, and she asks him why he likes, like, why she likes the comics that he's buying. They're all Image books, of course. Also, the only books you see on the shelf are Image. Like, that's all he has. He could buy anyway. But she's like, why do you like these? We do the really typical you should buy Archie comics. I don't know why we always go to that. If a woman in a comic book is talking about comics, it's always Archie. I don't know why. But even Gail Simone falls into that. And then
I love Archie.
why are you buying these? And he's got like Shadowhawk, and he's got like Savage Dragon, who's again a character that has been in Spawn before. I can't get my mind around it. And he goes into a whole speech about how great Image is because its creators left Marvel and DC and went their own way, and that I kid you not, this is what he says. I want to be like them because when they have the option to go down the street, they choose to drive on the sidewalk. And I kid you not, we used like we're just patting ourselves on the back, and like I agree with all of Image's creator own stuff, and it did do a lot of good things for the comic industry. I like of course, but I patting yourself on the back inside of the comics is bad form. McFarlane did it all the way back in issue 10, and we're just back to doing that again in this.
I would have to see how it's handled. I do think it is kind of amusing doing that for one of their books. I think that sounds kind of funny in like a kind of making fun of them sort of way because especially Liefeld and McFarlane are very like on about that. Uh, but I didn't read it, so maybe it doesn't play that way. But
It
I think
doesn't it doesn't
It's
read tongue-in-cheek to
potentially
me.
like a
It reads like Gail Simone herself kind of paying tribute to the company. And the other thing
mm,
you have to keep in mind about it is that is this is what I was going to say about it. That is now trying to canonically, and of course we've kind of rebooted Spawn some, but that is canonically saying that Al Simmons' whole like rebellious nature and his not wanting to go with the grain and not picking sides and being his own man all comes from his reading Image comics as a child. That like
again, that sounds
reading
funny to me.
Image
Like,
informs how he operates as Spawn. Well, and then it also kind of falls into that confusing gray area of okay, but also Al Simmons is not like really a hero to be like admired and want to live up to either. So like,
Simmons is barely a character. Like
well, no,
McFarlane
that's
can't
true
go
too.
3 issues without changing stuff.
Completely
I don't
changing
know
what he is. Yeah, I'm with you that on paper it's really funny. She writes it too earnestly. That's my problem with it.
yeah.
She
No,
writes
it
it
probably is.
way
It's just
too
like
earnestly.
having that described to me sounds amusing.
Yeah, sure.
But like I
It's funnier
also
talking
am
about it.
not like, oh, I need to I'm also not like, oh, I need to go read this.
There's also this fat racist cop that Heaven grabs up to be like another angel or a redeemer or something. I thought that was really funny. There's this scene where Gail Simone's making a really big deal out of look at this horrible person. I'm like, yep, he's a horrible person. I get it. And she goes like full she spawn to freak this guy out, and then it actually watches, now that I'm thinking about it, it reads a lot like that scene in Superman 2 with uh, Ursa and the cops, and I then I figured that that guy would just leave and we'd never see him again. And then 2 pages later, he gets picked up by Heaven, like we do with Jason Wynn, with Redeemer, and that was hilarious. Anyway, so I don't know. There's fun. There's some fun to be had in that, both ironically and otherwise. I don't have a ton to say about Absolute Catwoman #2. I'm losing interest a little bit in just the overall story for this. My main takeaway with this is we're doing the same thing. Interestingly, that we're doing in some of the other Absolute books, where we're trying to just get a lot of like supporting cast and characters that you know up front and all at the same time. And I talked about something a little bit with the whole thing with the Calicos, where Selena was a former member of this kind of spy thief organization, and she's left that, and she's not interested in being a thief in the same way that they are. And we meet some of the characters that are are Calicos, or I think they all still are, or used to be in the first issue, and now we've opened it up even more. We reveal Cassandra Cain at the end of the last issue, and that she's an assassin that's going to come after Selena. And so we're furthering that here, but we're also adding in Huntress, and I forget who else. I think there's another one too. But
Stephanie Brown, maybe?
no, I forget who. But anyway, it seems like this is turning into like absolute Birds of Prey as much as it's Absolute Catwoman, which
Oh, okay.
which kind of surprised me. But I like her characterization a lot. The way that she's just like the opposite of Selena Kyle, I'm actually going with, and I'm perfectly fine with. But and again, it's nice that it's not another like absolute horror book, and it's like the most like light of these. Um, I could see somebody thinking it's actually a little too light. Like it doesn't read all ages or anything, but it's I can see that being odd to somebody. I've been fine with it so far, but it's okay. Yeah, I read it a few days ago, and it's not sticking with me super well. Um, and then we have Superman Father of Tomorrow #3. I don't know how this is already out, but here it is. Hey, Lex Luthor's gonna become a wizard. That's pretty cool. He after he gets spurned by Jor-El because they have a disagreement about how he's handling giving technology to the masses. Lex Luthor decides, I think intelligently, that he's going to go away from technology and go learn magic. And Superman hates magic, so that seems very smart to me. I don't know why we never do this with Lex. It's a really cool direction to take him. He goes and studies with a lot of like the masters of magic that you've heard of with DC, and then in this issue we have a little bit of a time jump, and the last one that he goes to try to get information and learning is Dr. Fate, and so it's Lex trying to get powers from Dr. Fate, which is pretty cool. And then we've got what do you say?
Oh, sorry, no, that was on my end. I accidentally turned chat off. I moved my iPad. Sorry, I just said whoops to myself.
Oh, you're okay.
So go ahead.
You've got Lois kind of getting to the brass tacks of what's wrong with Jor-El in this universe, which is that he is solving everybody's problems for them and not letting humanity figure things out enough for themselves. And the contrast of who he is versus how Superman handles things is real potent. And he's very sympathetic. He's just misguided, and I like how the second issue kind of makes you think that he might have the right idea, and then by this issue, it's like, "Ooh, you are probably taking that too far." And I thought they might take him too much in like a despot direction, where he's sort of accidentally taking over the Earth, and then he'll just go with it. And that's really not what it is at all, at least so far. There's not like really an injustice component to it. It's much more just, well, you're selfishly trying to recreate Krypton on Earth, forgetting that Krypton destroyed itself. So if you make Earth too much like Krypton and you don't uh and like they don't have to take any responsibility for the creation of these things, aren't you just going to like push us to our own destruction faster, which is sort of Lois's argument. And I like that kind of ideological conflict that happens in this. And then oh yeah, and then we introduce a couple of kind of teams that I wasn't expecting. At the end, there's a big reveal that uh, General Lane is bringing in the Wildcats of all things. So I don't know why we're doing that, but there they are. This is one of those books where it's like, here's this surprise character that I don't know that anybody's was looking for or excited about, but here they are. I wasn't as much of on a high with this as I was issue 2, but it is still a natural direction it's moving, and I still like this series a lot more than I did with just the first issue. Not a lot to say about Sonic XDC Metal Legion. There is a fun kind of double cross that happens with Eggman and Lex Luthor, where Lex tries to double cross Eggman, but he's like totally ready for it, and then he totally messes up Lex in the process, and so their kind of war and tete-a-tete is real fun. And then by the end of it, you get, as I could have predicted, suddenly a bunch of Metal Sonic versions of DC villains, and the best one is Metal Black Manta. It's fantastic. It's just Metal Sonic with a Black Manta helmet, and it's fantastic. But yeah, there's a lot of fun kind of visual fan service and eye candy in that I'm really liking. I finally caught up on If Destruction Be Our Lot, which I'm not going to say a lot about right now, except because I want to talk more about this with Chris. Have you been reading this book?
I bought issue 1. I still haven't read it. I need to get on
Cool.
that.
I think
I'll try to
you'll like it a
prioritize
lot.
that for next time.
It's just
Yeah.
it's such classic robot what makes a man stuff, and you have a mechanical Abraham Lincoln that acts more human than any of these robots should be able to, just because he's mimicking Abraham Lincoln. And the idea seems to be that Abraham Lincoln was so altruistic and was so principled that even if you're a robot just pretending to be him, you're going to be a better person than anybody you know, which is kind of fantastic. And there is this question as to whether there are any humans that have survived. And then in the second issue, we at the end we finally find one, and so the third issue is Abraham Lincoln kind of chasing her down, and just going through all of these really dangerous adventures and pissing off all of the robots around him, and it's a lot of fun, and also gets very sad, and there's kind of all these opportunities for him to get mind wiped, and it seems like at first for some reason he can't be, and then the big question at the end of this issue is if that's really actually going to happen, and if they do that, I have no idea what that character's going to be like. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. And then the last thing I've got. Oh my god, I made it through my stack. I almost made it through my stack. Is the Space Ghost Season 2 annual. And I don't mean to just spoil everything at the ends of things, but the main takeaway with this is just we're weirdly setting up. This has been solicited, so I'll mention it. We weirdly been at the end of this are setting up a big crossover miniseries with Space Ghost and Herculoids. That's like the big takeaway with this is look everybody, Herculoids. I'm like, who cares? Like I never watched that
Do we need a
show.
cream for that?
So I guess if I'm going to because it's going to be in continuity with all of this, and it might end up mattering. So if I buy that, I guess that's all we're going to have until we get to season 3. So it's probably going to be 4 or 5 months of just a Space Ghost Herculoids miniseries. So like, I can't get excited about that. Hopefully it's good. This annual was okay. It reads a lot more like an epilogue than the culmination of the whole season, like the last season did it. But it also kind of mixes things up, and it's not formulaic, so I do appreciate that about it. But the whole issue is kind of working toward maybe Space Ghost is going to hang up his costume and stop putting his wards in harm's way because of what happened with the future version of Jace in the previous issue. Space Spectre, who is Jace from another universe, who gets killed in their conflict with Tempest, with the time guy that's basically Morloon if he was after Space Ghosts. Except he's way more interesting than Morloon because he turns out to be a Space Ghost. But anyway, I still don't like Morloon, but that guy's all right. But anyway, spoiler alert. He does not decide to quit being Space Ghost, and that's kind of that issue. But it's a decent epilogue, but it really is pretty much just an epilogue. And then the only other things I bought this last week, things that I did not read, Batgirl 3, catching up on the issues that I missed from that series before I started on it, because I didn't start on it until issue 9. And then I got another Hamilton Power Rangers that's in really good shape. This is number 4. This is the first appearance of the White Ranger. And these are very silly, and they have terrible art, but that's part of why I want them, because they're very funny. And then I also bought, I at a flea market when I was on my way to Orlando. I drove to Orlando a couple weeks ago, or I guess it's been a couple weeks now, and we found a flea market. What state were we even in at that point? I forget. I think we were past Tennessee. But anyway, I found a flea market that had a bunch of comics, and I bought about 20 issues of the the late 2000s Green Lantern Corps series. Speaking of Green Lantern, there's an arc of this that I loved that somebody let me borrow back when it came out, and I've always wanted to collect this, and they had all these for $1, so I went ahead and bought a bunch of them. So I don't show all these, but I bought 20 of those. It's a good start on that series, and I think that's pretty much everything. Oh my god, I got through it.
Yay!
Are you gonna make it?
I'm fading a little bit, but I got this. I got
That's kind of what I'm having. Are we gonna get through it?
You can do it.
Do you need another break?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, well, let's. Oh, hold on. We're not quite deceding the crime yet. I don't know why
Yeah, we gotta
this.
do cover of the week, which
No, I
has like
know,
8 words in it,
but
so it's
this,
all good.
this thing's not set up right. Okay, sorry. I had to get it on the screen. Batman Adventures 27. This is from 1994, and a little bit later into this series. I think this only had like 35, 40 issues.
Yeah, I think I saw like 35 to 36 around there when I was looking at the series online.
This one is written by Kelly Puckett with dual artists. We got Mike Parabeck and Rick Burchett, who I just met at a con and had him sign something this last year. He signed one of my annuals for this. Austin, I read this a few days ago and then wanted a refresher on it today, and I actually liked it a lot better on a second read.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, um I liked it. It was one of those things where it's there's not a lot to it, and like there's a lot where there's just kind of no dialogue, but like I thought it was like fine kids comics. Like I thought it was pretty good.
Well, and I think this could be said of a lot of this series, but if this had been made into an episode, it would have been a fine episode. It wouldn't have been anybody's favorite, but it would have been all
No,
right.
it probably would have been like on like the lesser end, but not like bad.
The well, and
Like
see,
lesser end of good.
and I agree with that, but like I said, I got more out of it on a second read. I think part of
Yeah.
the problem with this kind of storyboard approach is that it reads so fast it's really easy to breeze past what meat is really in it, which I think is what I did the first time around. So with the dialogueless panels, you really got to slow yourself down and kind of like imagine the kinetic movement of it. You gotta like put it in the TV show because like it really wants to be
Yeah.
an episode, and so like you gotta imagine the Shirley Walker music and try to slow it down. One of the things I've always liked about this series is it is really 1-to-1, like minute wise, where like it's a 22-page comic that was a 22-minute TV show. One page is 1 minute in the show, and like it does a fabulous job of that every time.
Mhm. Yeah, like when I say there's no dialogue, I don't even mean negative. Like, I thought that stuff looked really good.
Yeah,
It was a very quick read, but like you said, um, it does kind of capture that minute to minute thing. I also thought like I could really hear Conroy's voice. Like I thought they did a good job capturing that.
I had that too. I what yeah, one thing that's weird about it, and I don't know if you had this, maybe you were smarter than me, but that was weird about breezing through this with the non-dialogue section is it did not occur to me that when someone was reading something like in a newspaper or a book or something that the text would be important to the story, and it was.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
um there's a magazine that Batman's reading that gives you the backstory of this copycat Batman before we see it in flashback, and it really informs why that's happening. And I skipped it the first time around, so it took me a minute to even understand that that guy's wife was like caught in the crossfire in the middle of a gang war. I was like, why are they shooting at her? Oh, they're not shooting at
Mhm.
her. She got in the way. And like I didn't
Yeah.
I needed like the thug speech at the end to even get to that. Uh
Yeah.
so like really good
I know
visual
I did catch that.
storytelling.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. No, and I can picture like how that show would have done that. They do a lot
Mhm.
of that, like on the screen, news and things like that.
Yeah. Well, and they'll also cuz they get real old school and they'll make it like film serials. Uh, if there's like an important headline or something you're supposed to read, they'll just zoom in on it for like longer than you need to to have
Mhm.
time to read it. And so yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
You really picture how they do it. I think it's amusing. Well, first of all, I just really like the parallels in this guy's backstory and in Bruce's, and like you really believe why Batman would latch onto this guy. If he was younger, he'd be a Robin. Uh, like he is very clearly in the same mold of like your family was gunned down in front of you and like pointlessly, and so the problem is not the person that did it, it's the larger like societal issues that you feel urged to go fix. uh and again, they don't get a lot of screen time together, but what little they do, the dynamic is decent.
And they do
um
like a full Rocky training montage.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool that Batman doesn't just take him off the street and say you have to stop doing this. He says I'm going to train you, and then I'll let you go back out and keep doing it if you do a good job, because I understand why you're doing this. I mean, it's kind of funny. We do this in the comics a lot too. That Batman, thinks he's like he owns the city and he's such the arbiter of everything, where it's like you're only going to be a vigilante in my town if I train you myself and let you do that. But I don't know, I don't know about you, I feel like even the animated series version would probably do that.
Well, I just kept thinking, like, doesn't he tell Batgirl to stop? It's just women. He's like, Batgirl, you need to stop. I will train all the Robins in this guy.
No, I
But
think it's consistent enough. I think it works with this because he's an Olympic trained athlete and he's a full fledged adult. Batgirl's a teenager. She's got no training. She's not like an athlete at the same level this guy is. Uh, you can gender it, but I think it makes sense.
what's Tim Drake's backstory? Do we know what his thing is? Because he's also like 2 feet tall in
Yeah, but
the
it's
animated
it's
series.
different when you take a kid off the street and you're raising him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, I
I
just thought it was kind of amusing. Like, I don't really care either way.
Sure.
But yeah.
The funny thing about this to me is that this guy puts on a Batman costume and seems to just not want to infringe copyright. So like he doesn't put a bat symbol on it because that would be copyright infringement. It's fine to put on all of the rest of it. I don't understand why this guy is just wearing a Batman suit. That was the weirdest thing about this to me. It felt like a gimmick just to have a cool cover, because like
I think that's kinda what it is, yeah.
I liked this issue fine. It does not match up. It does not live up to the potential like interesting nature of this cover, especially because you look at the other Batman on this cover, and he looked. We even talked about this on the show when it came up. He looks like a Silver Age Batman or something, and then that's not what it's doing at all. Like it's just a guy in a
And also
Batman
because the guy
costume.
doesn't put the suit on at the end. He only wears it at the beginning.
Yeah,
I thought that was kinda strange.
yeah, it's true. He doesn't go back to it at all. I will make kind of a crazy suggestion, Austin, and I don't know if you'd go along with this, but just keep in mind that that show did its own variations of characters and made up backstories for people all the time. I could have seen this as their version of Jean Paul Valley.
Oh, I mean, I had that thought
Oh, did
too.
you?
Yeah,
Partly because he is
probably because he's
blonde,
blonde.
but
Yeah.
this could have been his backstory, and then you do a follow up later where Batman's going after Azrael, and then the big surprise is it's this guy.
Or he, like, gets the Azrael suit by the end of this episode instead of just being in street clothes.
Yeah, no, that too. But
Yeah.
then
No, I had
you'd
that
have
thought
to
too.
bring in the whole religious cult angle, and you wouldn't have enough space for all of that unless you just
I
didn't
could
do
see them
that.
just not touching it. Yeah, I could see them just not doing that.
Yeah, you could have done that. 559 is asking for something on the wheel. He says, Flashpoint Batman Night of Vengeance. Yeah, I don't think I've talked about that. One of the Flashpoint side books.
Cool. And I haven't read Flashpoint just as an event.
Uh, a lot of the
So if
side
we do
books
that,
were
I should
pretty
probably read
good.
that.
Flashpoint itself
Yeah.
is not great, but some of those side books are pretty good. Particularly Citizen Cold is really good.
Hmm.
I remember liking that a lot. Anyway, well, thanks for reading that random Batman Adventures comic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to shake the phone and see what we're doing next time, and then we will go over our featured book. And apologies if we have to truncate this a little bit and not talk as in depth as we usually would because we're getting so late. I also have not read it since Monday, so my thoughts were going to be a little bit more broad than usual anyway. But that is a very in-depth murder mystery that has a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, if you haven't read it, like, go read it. It's wonderful.
Okay, I'm shaking the phone. Here we go. Okay, no, we're not going to do that because you and I actually reviewed that recently. Hold on.
What was it?
It was an issue of Funeral for a Friend.
Oh.
And then this is an issue of the current Batgirl series, which I've already talked about. Oh, here we go. Okay. We have this this is a cool cover too. Ooh, I'm kind of excited about this one. Hold on. I'll just bring it up and then I'll show you what we're doing, Austin.
The anticipation.
I was gonna say something, Austin. Help us with the dead air. Okay.
I'm stressing out. What is it gonna be?
This is. Let me see what year this comes out. This is 1976. We're gonna do an issue of Len Wein's Amazing Spider-Man run, and this
Ooh.
is 152 with the Shocker.
Yay!
Yeah,
We love the Shocker.
yeah. I've always loved his costume.
Yeah. It just makes me think of the first Raimi movie game where
You always bring this
Toby
up.
says he looks like, where he says he looks like a cushion.
Nicholas Bodo, if that was going to be Jean-Paul Valley, they should have done a faithful adaptation of Bane first. No, that's why I think that should have been Jean-Paul Valley, because they already like kind of screwed up with Bane. So you might as well just have a completely different Jean-Paul Valley too.
Yeah. And Bruce Timm doesn't care.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever read that Amazing issue.
Yeah, offhand. I'm not sure. I'll have to see when we get there.
Okay, last thing of the evening is our featured book. Once again, it's Ed Brubaker's Scene of the Crime, a street level, real dark crime mystery that was published by Vertigo.
Yep. And is now published by Image.
Yeah, and they did the release that we read for this. I think even all the way back in 2012, and I think they've maybe even re-released it again since then.
Oh, okay.
I may be wrong about that. This was kind of a oversized trade that included I think like another one-shot story that he did in this universe. You know, the thing that most surprised me, I'll just say this right out the gate, and then I'll let you do a bit of a plot synopsis. Don't feel like you have to get ins and outs of all the details with this, Austin, because like there's a lot going on with this. But I was kind of surprised that this was just a miniseries in the first place. I mean, I can see it being a mini and then wind up as an ongoing, but I'm just surprised that there were like several stories told with this side with this PI with this Jack character. I because this story read real piloty to me, like the way it introduces his supporting cast, and like spends a lot of time like kind of establishing the world that he lives in. I mean I'm hesitating because a lot of his like friends that he works with, they don't get a whole lot to do. But it does
Mhm.
but it does kind of feel like we're establishing characters to maybe continue on in like an anthology thing.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. I know, was it Criminals? Like he's come back to and done different stories with, so like maybe he could have done that. But I feel like now at this point he's very content to just do kind of things like this, and he doesn't even do issues anymore because his stuff sells better in trade. So
Well,
he's kind of just cut that market and jumped straight into that.
and I was gonna say he's smart about his beginning and ends with these single issues. Like there's a structure with the 4 issues, but this would have published just as well as a graphic novel, and it reads very graphic novelly to me over comics, partly because it's so grounded.
Yeah.
And I don't even
No, I mean
mean
it
just because there's not any
feels like a
supernatural
visual
stuff in
novel.
it. Like there's nothing over the top with this. Like everything's real kind of credible. To the point where I don't want to say I was let down by the ending with this, but I expected something a lot more kind of crazy and shocking, and then I was like, oh, all of this feels very plausible. Like some of the plotting is a little convoluted, uh, but you have like suggestions of really crazy explanations for things. That when you get the actual explanation, the reason that you, the reader, might not have guessed it is because you thought it was going to be weirder.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, because the whole thing is we're dealing with
Yeah,
like a hippie commune, and there's this girl that asks our main character, who is Peter Parker, on a rough point in his life. He didn't get spider powers, and he lives with Aunt May and Uncle Ben.
Peter Parker, if he
And
didn't get spider powers and his family were all like either police or private detectives, and he shot someone.
yeah, so just like Peter Parker. And he's gonna find this girl, and she ends up dead. And we got to figure out what happened with her. Did the hippie commune do it? Potentially, her family's weird. They got a weird history. They don't want to communicate about anything. And the
They're
hippie
telling
communes
stories that aren't adding up.
exactly, the hippie communes potentially a rebuilt version of another hippie commune that burned down that the family went to when they were
In
younger. And
1983, I remember that.
exactly. You remember it specifically because it's the year before that famous Taylor Swift album. And
I was gonna say it's because it was the year before I was born, but all right.
no, that comes first, Cap. We all
Oh,
know.
okay, okay.
Yeah, then of course, like it's very much like a noir kind of detective thing, and the main character's got to figure out what's going on. And the big thing that this character has that a lot of these kinds of characters don't is that he's very he doesn't like guns, so he doesn't carry a gun, so he doesn't shoot people. And part of that is because, like Cap said, he killed somebody when he was younger because they done blew up his dad.
And Brubaker conceals that till the very end. Like
Yeah, and
we
it's a
don't
really
know.
great scene when we finally get there.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty sad. And like you can just like with the murder mystery, we've got some breadcrumbs and you can guess at some of it, but it doesn't all add up until he finally lays it out where I it seems real typical at first, where it's like he doesn't want to carry a gun because um like he choked up at some point when like he was in a bad situation, should have shot someone, didn't do that, something he's not living up to his father's legacy very well, and his father died horribly, but we don't know what exactly happened with that, and like maybe it's related to that, and then we find out that it's because he killed someone out of revenge, and like that's the reason that he can't bring himself to shoot people now. It makes him a lot more sympathetic, and it's kind of risky to not give us that until the end, because like I understand and appreciate this character a lot more when I get that. It's kind of hard to even describe why it structurally works as well as it does. Because again, I think it's kind of risky.
Yeah, potentially. I like the way that it's framed around this love interest that he had from back then, that doesn't want to hear him out, and he keeps trying to explain to her what happened, and then obviously by the end they finally sit down together and he explains it. So I really liked how it was framed through that lens.
Yeah, maybe the reason it works is because Brubaker is always giving you he's so calculated about this. He's always giving you information when it's like most necessary to understand what's happening next in the story, of course, and when it's most dramatically appropriate but not in a gimmicky way, and then also just when it most naturally would come up in
Mhm.
conversation, because
Yeah,
this is the sort of story where we're never away from our protagonist. And he
yeah,
has
no,
internal
exactly.
monologue, but he doesn't tend to stop and explain that kind of stuff to us. It's all kind of, am I right? Again, it's been a few days. Usually what he's telling us about is what's happening in the moment.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you're right about that. It's also very real in the sense that he's got kind of three people that he talks with. He's got his uncle Ben, that was a crime scene photographer. He's got a
His
like
uncle
best friend
Nut,
guy.
who's a nut.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. His uncle Nut. Uh,
That's the guy who fell asleep here in this panel. Anyway,
exactly. Yeah. Uh, and he's got like a best friend that is also a PI, and then he also has a kind of relationship with a cop that knows the family that kind of connects them.
who was
And
his
I feel
father's
like
best friend, I think.
exactly, and I feel like some like another writer would maybe combine those three into one character. But I kind of like that they are just kind of separate, and it makes it feel, I think, a little bit more real, and that he's got these kind of different people that he can depend on, and I really like all of them.
Yeah, they're all uh, like helpful in different ways, but flawed in different ways.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And so like they all could be liabilities in different ways from each other. Especially his father's friend, who he doesn't get along with super well, and who brings him in on this in the first place, because he is dating the girl that will get killed at the end of the first issue, and I'm sorry, he's dating her sister, and
Yeah.
doesn't want anybody to know that he has a mistress, and so the only reason he doesn't, because he's also a detective. The only reason he doesn't go investigate it is to keep his name out of it, so that nobody knows. So he's kind of sleazy.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, no, and then obviously the ending's very much like a moral dilemma for the characters, like with who did the killing and whatnot, and letting them go ultimately.
Yeah, and all of the background stuff with the cults is real messed up.
Yeah. Oh, it
This came out in
it goes to some
'99.
really,
I
yeah, really
It
dark
being
places.
25 years old does not make it any less disturbing. This, by the
Mhm.
way, holds up really well, I think.
I agree. I think uh, it's like perfectly well realized, and um, so I read one of his other uh, like graphic novel books. I'm trying to remember what it's called. But it was also really good.
That's Austin's I'm trying
And
to remember things elevator music. Da, 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 da.
exactly, it was about like these different people that all live on the street. Uh, it's not coming to me, but it was really good, and I can definitely tell this is that same person a little younger, like maybe not as like fully ironed, like here we go, I know what I'm doing 100%, but at the same time he's almost there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 100%. Like, I feel like he could pretty well write this now.
Yeah, like, it's a little wordy, he could pare it down some, but I also feel like it's just fine the way it is. Like, I don't
And
feel
it's
like
so
it
purple
needs
prosy in the way that
a
it's
lot of
wordy. Like, I
cutting.
don't think that's yeah.
No, a lot of that is
Like,
absolutely
I think it works
necessary. I think
perfectly.
maybe it's
Yeah.
less about language and more about just, like, scenes and length of scenes. Like, he could probably live without like, a few moments or a few scenes. I don't know that absolutely everything we see. Well, I say that. Maybe on a second pass, I wouldn't even agree with what I'm saying right now because I don't always even know why I'm looking at a scene. And so retroactively, I probably look back and be, oh, that's why that's there. You have to have that. So I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, and I never felt it dragged. Like, when we were, like,
Yeah.
really, like, in a scene for a while, it tended to be very riveting,
Yeah,
where I just enjoyed hearing them talk
I found
or reading them
myself
talk.
reading this very deliberately. Like
Sure.
I wasn't trying to rush through this. I
Yeah.
I was, and it wasn't just like I'm trying to file everything away so we can talk about it. It was like, if I wasn't into this, I would find myself like maybe wanting to skim some, and instead I was like constantly filing information away. Because you
Mhm.
can tell, like he is, like I said, giving you information when he thinks that you need it, and you're you like the detective or trying to put everything together, and things aren't adding up, and but you trust that they're going to, and so I wanted to make sure I understood all the major details so that when it was finally revealed to me, I understood it.
Mhm. While you're saying that, and I agree completely, and it's very much like he'll throw out information, and I'm like, okay, log this, but also understand that there's more to this than what I'm actually given right in this moment.
Yeah,
And I thought that was cool. That other one I was talking about is called Where the Body Was, and that's also a really great book. That's one of those ones he did with Sean Phillips because they're like they do all their stuff together now.
yeah, and of course, Brubaker and this artist did a lot of stuff after this too,
Yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
this is the Gotham Central team.
Yep, and it's
I
also a wonderful book.
Yeah, one of my big takeaways from this is just how novelly it is. And Brubaker's talked a lot about his, uh, detective novel influences. Like your obvious like Raymond Chandler's and guys like that. But then he's got like 4 or 5, um, big kind of mystery artists, and Bendis speaks to those too. And
Yeah,
this just as easily could have been a book, and like I think that it's utilizing the comic medium really well, but it's uh but a lot of like the wordiness of it is what makes it novelly, and it totally works with this. Like I'm liking having this realized the way it is, and with as much visual storytelling as is happening. But it doesn't feel like the sort of comic that has, or the sort of story that has to be told visually necessarily.
yeah, I think he does a good job of feeling like a novelist while also just being really good in the comic medium.
Yeah,
And like I think he has that exact right balance in terms of writing,
it's
and then
just
the art's really great.
it's the kind of writing where you can tell the guy also writes novels.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like Brad Meltzer has that. Like you read a Brad Meltzer comic, you're like, well, this guy writes books.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you find yourself very surprised by just what the answers to the mysteries are? And like,
Uh, I
were you
was
let down by any
I
of that?
so I called aspects of it, but not all of it. Like I called the dad thing,
Oh,
but
okay.
I didn't call
I didn't.
necessarily that the
That's
sister killed the sister.
Yeah.
Uh,
The dad thing is real disturbing in retrospect.
Yeah.
Like, I'm almost scared to reread it knowing that. I don't
Yeah,
know if
no,
you
it's
I don't know if you had that thought, but, like, oh.
no, I had that thought. 'Cause-
'Cause, like, there's a really, uh, on multiple levels, there's, like, horrifying, child abuse implications all the way through this. That becomes so much worse when you find out that, uh, the the person that's running the new cult is not the person running the old one, but in fact their father. Um,
Mhm.
because what we're supposed to believe early on, although I like that it's not definitive, so we're even up in the air about this, is that maybe the guy that ran the cult back in the early 80s is the guy that's running this new cult that the girl that he's looking for is in, and he just had maybe a little bit of reconstructive surgery or something, because they look kind of similar, and it could be that guy. But then you have, is it Austin? Is it their mom that says, "No, I know for sure it's not him"? No, it's the girl that that
No,
has
it's
her
that burn
face all messed
victim.
up.
Two-Face, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
that's a
then
very effective scene.
yeah, and in that moment, I was like, "Oh no, she's right." Like that's not who
Yeah,
it is. I know definitively now that can't be what it is. And then
it can't be the
of
same
course it
person,
turns
yeah.
out that it isn't. I didn't also call that the girl who dies at the beginning was the arsonist.
No, I didn't call that. I did call that the family were dubious and
Yeah.
were definitely, doing illegal stuff. I didn't quite call that they like how exactly that tied in, but I did know that they were like in on it to some degree.
And then once you find out all the details, it's not like you condone their actions, but like you can totally see how they got to be the way they are.
Yeah. No, I mean, like he says, when the mom's like, "Oh, you are messing with like you're effing with my family," and he's like, "Your family has always been effed up. I just like came into it." Yeah.
I really like the message that you get by the end of this, and just kind of the um what am I trying to say? It's getting late. The, the big takeaway that Jack has by the end, because it's talked about in the scene. It is sort of spelled out. I don't feel like it's too handholdy or anything. It feels like a character just naturally coming to the conclusion of an arc, and just talking about it like in a thoughtful way. Like I bought all of that. But his discussion about how um life just isn't fair, and you kind of just have to take the cards that you're dealt, and you can like lash out at the universe and try to get revenge for the ways you've been wronged, but to various degrees everybody at some point is dealt a bad hand, and all you can really do is move forward and make the best of it. And I liked the kind of optimism of that. Like again, it doesn't get sappy, and it's not like a real uplifting happy ending. Uh like Absolute Martian Manhunter. Like this is still enough of a downer at the end with what it is. But I like it sort of has to be. But I feel like that guy has a future after this.
hmm Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a very adult ending in that there kind of just isn't anything great you can take out of this situation, and you're never gonna fully be happy about it.
But I liked that the private detective has a real character arc through this, and he's not the same man at the end as he is at the beginning, because this kind of thing can be so procedural that he would just facilitate it and be that
Yeah.
character that never changes, and he's really there just to take off the Scooby-Doo mask at the end. And
Mhm.
it's a lot more like a Murder on the Orient Express kind of ending. where it's like the investigator has been changed by this.
And I mean, it's got it also, in terms of not just being formulaic. It's not like, oh, I learned I can finally take that shot and kill my enemy. It doesn't have that, and you would think that would be like a very formulaic kind of character arc.
Yeah, and it's also not an easy arc where like he rides off into the sunset and everything's gonna be fine now. Like he's more mature by the end. It's a
Yeah,
little coming of age in its way.
you got the girl at the end of the day.
Well,
It's
that's true.
gonna be a little happier. She
Yeah,
can live with Uncle Ben and Aunt May with it, or Uncle Nut
and
and Aunt
I like how earned.
Nut's wife.
Yeah, I like how earned that whole thing is.
Yeah,
Like you really wouldn't expect they would get together at the end based on how we see them at the start.
yeah. I was kind of back and forth where I was like, I don't know that this character will come back, but if she does, they probably will get together by the end. But like, I could have seen that easily being like a kind of one-off thing.
Well, I couldn't decide if this is the kind of story where this character was never allowed to have any like measure of happiness or not,
Mhm.
because some of these kind of
Yeah, for
hard-boiled
sure.
things go that way.
That is true.
But it's also really appropriate for the subject matter because it's so much about like I just thought of this like the parallels in a lot of these characters' stories are how like ruined they are as children, which is
Mhm.
and again the thematic notion that life's not fair. They're all handed or dealt like terrible decks when they're too young to do anything about it, and you can't blame them for what's happened to them. And so, a lot of what he's dealing with in these women are dealing with are things that are initially not their fault. Now, obviously, when they're grown up, they have to take a measure of responsibility for their own actions. But it would be unfair, just on the part of like Brubaker and the universe, to give this detective like no bones by the
Mhm.
end.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that. Sorry, my brain's shutting down.
Oh, that's all right. We can finish up here. Bob the Gun, glad you both enjoyed this more than Jinx.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I thought this was quite wonderful. This was a really good read.
Um, yeah, again, one of my biggest takeaways is just how uh like real and believable this whole thing is. I thought the ending was gonna be crazier, and like
Mhm.
on the one end, there was a part of me that was like, oh, really, that's it? And then on the other end, I was like, no, everything I've been reading kind of suggest this is not a real comic booky kind of comic book. Like this, like it's got that hard boiled flavor. Like it's heightened in its way, but like all of the like actual events feel like real things that could happen, and a lot of stuff feels like it's coming from personal experience. And with Brubaker's crazy background, like some of it probably does.
But I think for me, in terms of that, like when he walked into the hospital room where the family is, I was like, okay, this is your big like laying all the cards on the table scene that we're getting to, and then so I'm like, okay, like how, like obviously this can't be some sort of action scene, so like I'm interested to see where this is gonna land, and because it becomes such like a moral dilemma of like, I know that you killed this person and that's not right, but like you're a victim and I can't really turn you in at the same time, and how that reflects his character, I thought was so fascinating that even though it didn't get big or anything, it like it really kind of sank its teeth in. It was really well handled.
Yeah, no, you're right, because it ends up being a character study, and it ends up being so much about uh, that protagonist, and
Yeah, exactly.
that's not always a given with these kinds of stories.
Mhm. No, I mean it hits a good balance of being that kind of noir purple prose detective thing, but also being very character focused at the same time.
Well, anyway, if we were more awake, we would talk more about this. Was there, Austin, anything else you wanted to say about just this in relation to like Brubaker and his background and stuff? Because I know you did more research than I did about that.
Oh yeah, no, like one of our friends sent me it was like half documentary, half interview. I assumed it was just an interview, but it ended up being like part documentary. But they had like a 6 hour interview with him to kind of build a documentary around.
Oh, crazy.
And yeah, it's really good. I can't remember offhand who made that. Uh, just look up like I guess Brubaker interview on YouTube, and it's like an hour long. Uh, but yeah, I highly recommend that. But it kind of just goes through his whole career, and they don't talk a ton about this book in particular, but they talk a lot about his like youth growing up and like being into crime and like being into drugs and whatnot. And I could really see that kind of paralleling with especially the main character in this. And I thought that was really interesting.
Well, Bendis said in his foreword that Brubaker's first creator-owned comic, and I forget what that's called, is him I just like chronicling all the crimes he's committing and publishing it.
Yeah, they mentioned that
Really?
in there. Yeah, it was like, oh man, because he
It's
made
wild.
something, and I think it was like something carrot. Like it sounded like it was kind of like a silly comic. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but he mentioned, taking it to a couple pros, and they were like, I don't know what you're doing, man. You should try making something a little more personal and like, your own experience. So then he just goes and makes that. And that sounds very fascinating.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he had had that hard of a background until I read this and read about that.
When the character specifically talks about being like 14 and like just being on drugs like constantly, and like that's something he talked about in that interview too. Where I'm like, okay, this is just straight up coming from you personally, and I think that's why it feels so raw and real.
Yeah. The, sometimes I sometimes you can almost tell when something is at least somewhat autobiographical.
Yeah. What also helps that like the entire book is like it's clearly just
No,
he's
of
taken like
course.
little pieces. I mean, I would certainly hope not with some of the stuff in this book, but
Some of what he
yeah,
does with Jack reads almost like self-critical, where it's like he's putting himself in that character.
yeah, sure, I can definitely see that.
Well, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and find out what we're doing next time, and see if we have to read about characters that I've never heard of playing volleyball.
Hopefully, we can only hope.
Well, it'd be short. I guess there's that. Somebody asked earlier how many books we have on the list, and it's like it's too many to count right now. It's at least it's probably 60 at this point.
It's like how many more could it be? And the answer is none, none more.
Okay, let's spin the wheel because we're about to lose Austin. Here we go. It's going, and we got. Oh, Austin, we got one of yours. Everyone is going to be
Oh,
so frustrated with us because they put books on the wheel all night, and we just got one of yours. Now, Don't be too upset, everybody, because once ours are exhausted, we're not putting any more on. We just did this to start the whole thing. But Austin, we're doing Skybat Invisible Man.
Yes, I almost made that joke earlier when you said the you do the hot girl summer in the winter, because that Invisible Man takes place in the winter. It's like, what if they flipped, where it's like we did that now and then hot girl summer in the winter.
Well, we got the first
So
part of it anyway.
yeah,
Well, I've been curious to read that anyway, so that's exciting.
yeah, I'm excited, and that book is Evil Ditko Spider-Man, so I'm very excited to reread that.
Yeah, that'll be a good show. And it probably won't be a 4-hour
Oh,
show because I'm not going to have a stack of 20 books to go through.
yeah, yeah, probably not.
Well, Austin, thanks for doing the show with me. Sorry for keeping you up so late.
It's all good.
But can you imagine what would have happened if we had Chris?
I can Stanley's just imagine if we had Chris tonight, it would have gone at least 10 minutes longer.
What are you talking about? It would have been so much longer. He would have had so many
Um,
issue number 3s.
well, Bob Behind just said he almost put Invisible Man on the wheel. Glad that he didn't. Well, there you go. You get one for free.
Cool. We'll credit you next time so that you're not upset with us that we did one of Austin's books. Thanks for watching, everybody. We really appreciate it. And Austin and I are going to be back tomorrow night if we can stand to stay up at all again with some more of our top 100 favorite movies that are not about superheroes. And in the meantime, thanks for being here. I was Captain Logan, and this was Austin the Day Goes.
Sayonara.
Bye, folks.